It's absurd. It's absurd. It's absolutely insane.
All right.
But we got a couple super chats here before we send it up.
Before we send it off.
Yeah. My guy Stevenson, Etienne, shout out to Trader TV. We are printing shmoney. There you go. You get that money storm right there, my friend. $5 super chat. I'm not going to read the first half of this one comment there from Alfredo's options trades. We'll go right into that one. Adair, if you want to take a read on that one, feel free to do so. Joe, why did the VIX leaps calls move the same as buying outright? I have no idea on that one. Calls move the same as buying outright. I'm not too sure what you mean by that, my friend. And the leaps would be more than a year out. You got that move up into 22. Other than that, things started to cool off as the market started to climb higher today. You got that inverse correlation, right? So you want the VIX to climb higher. That means the market is moving southeast, and that's not the case for today's session, guys.
All right, guys, 203, 13, 14. All right, the big boys, their positions are already on the board. They're locked and they're loaded. I'll see everybody very shortly at the green screen. Joseph and I will be on. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.
Welcome, everybody. Apparently, we're supposed to get worked up about American Eagle. I don't even know what the big deal is. Like, it's like I don't understand why it gets so.
I mean, you're allowed to have spokespeople, right?
Yeah, you're allowed to have spokespeople.
I think it's the fact that Trump commented today.
Well, here's the thing, like. I understand why people got up in arms because of the saying.
Yeah,
but it's a gene company that's literally an unavoidable. It's an unavoidable. Like the idea, anyways.
It was a little. I mean, I think it was a little bit off. A little bit off, I think.
I went to like, watch.
What about the genes? And then she's like a blonde, perfect everything. Like,
I went to watch it again
to
see if I got any feel, and I really don't. And I flat out don't. Like I didn't get that vibe. But like to each their own. That being said, my take on that whole because I know Sharif and Joe were having a conversation there, was why $26? How are you having a bet on $26? If you want to bet on, Joe wants to bet on the short of this thing, why does it have to double? That seems ridiculously. I think that's it's like a low probability event. But then why have that? Why not make it a more reasonable number, like 16 or 17?
I just want to tell everybody in the chat, I'm fine with what it was. I'm
26?
No, the whole genes thing. I'm just saying I could see that's what people get all up in arms about. I had to
watch it
I mean, commercials have to be a little bit creative, right? And so it's just like, it's all of that kind of stuff, you know? So it's, got to make that money somehow.
I got to wear those jorts, apparently, because that's what you're supposed to do, like Randy.
Is it a jort? Yeah, jorts. You should do a commercial for jorts, man.
Yeah, why not? No,
wear some black jorts.
I don't think I've ever worn jorts.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. But no, look, AEO was up 22% in squeezing. It's just a matter of can it break through like a little bit more than that 13 level. Bitcoin's looking very strong here. Market's pretty much at the highs. Not everything is super strong. Tesla's up 2 points. It actually came all the way back, Tesla. Almost.
Yeah, it's at 310 right now.
But NVIDIA, it's like not. We didn't look at it that much on Friday either. I think NVIDIA's just turned into that stock where, I don't know, like boringly amazing. For it to be almost pressing the $180 level, and it's like no one's even talking about it. I get it. AEO's doing some things, so that's where everyone's focused on.
Is this the right time I should announce that I've just signed a jeans deal?
Which company?
Levi's.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, jeans deal with Levi's. There. Oh, I thought Sharif had jorts on there, but he does not.
No. Only Randy wears jorts.
No, Sharif has jorts. I do. Yeah, he wears them. Yeah. Sharif and...
Why don't I remember this? I do. Okay.
Nothing wrong with jorts.
No, look, there's nothing wrong with jorts. I just don't remember seeing
That's such a funny name.
Sharif in jorts.
Jorts.
Was that with the Timberlands?
Maybe.
Did you wear it with the Tims? No. You wore
them.
No, I remember.
This is the 8th month.
No, we were doing exactly this. So we're preparing for the rundown, and then we turn over, and Sharif was in front of the green screen, in shorts and the Tims. 100%.
The construction worker.
No, 100% he had Tims on with shorts. I know, like you don't forget that you see. What? There's nothing wrong with wearing Tims with shorts. Do whatever the heck you want to do. I'm just simply saying it happened.
Yeah,
because I remember. I remember.
Believe.
Anyways, that doesn't really matter.
I believe that.
I like Tims.
I'm still trying to find out. I still want to see Joe with dreads. Did I miss that? Did that happen?
Yeah, we got video evidence.
Okay, I'm gonna find it out.
Yo, bring the picture. Joe, send us the pictures again.
It's a bowl of chicken, man. We know what it is.
Come on, Joe.
I got the same thing but shrimp. It was pretty good.
So send it again so we can show it. Oh, okay. We have a button for that?
He's gonna show it right now. Anything for these midday guys. Here, show the thing. 26. He's gonna hit it in a minute. We're not going anywhere until we see this.
There we go. Well, that's a free advertisement.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We so just quickly here, we're gonna go over to the screen and we're gonna talk about what you guys want to talk about, the rundown. We're actually gonna reload Fabian's little watch list thing here that we can help promote. But yeah, right into there, 203.50. We actually went long, Andre, on Apple right there, 204. It broke. We got out. Then we sort of bought it off that last support, and we've been now getting it out up here. But our best out is just like, it's not bad. I mean, that's 204.70. Our first out there is 98. Then we got an out at 08, and we got some more outs at O's, and then the highest we got was in the 20s up here. But starting to fall back in here as the market.
There it is.
Okay.
There it is. Legit.
Yeah, he does look like a different person.
Well, he's also very young in that picture. In the picture, it's like, come on, of course he looks different.
And back then, he's not wearing glasses just for fun. Now he just wears glasses for fashion. And you know,
exactly.
I think if we took the glasses off there, that okay. All right, that was not as kind of anticlimactic.
They're like mini
right there.
dreads. Like they're not like.
I'm a little disappointed, to be honest with you. I mean, he's such a handsome individual there.
I like the look. I like the look.
I like the. I mean, hey,
and for anyone that's wondering, like, what's that? I'm
all about
Joe,
that.
Everybody, those pictures are Joe. If you're just tuning in for the first time, you're brand new. Joey Options used to have little mini dreads.
Yeah. That looked pretty good there.
And
yeah.
why not?
Good, nice, Joe, nice.
There exists no pictures of me with dreads.
I like that.
Sean Connery never had dreads. They're Mike the Rider. But, I mean...
Sean Connery.
He's still the coolest Bond, so it doesn't really matter. He doesn't need dreads. Apparently.
All right. We still have a very, very small... I'm sure Figma will be on everybody's radar today. This was on our radar at 110, breaking lower. We were able to get it at 102 and start to push this to the downside, still $7. It's the same position that we've had. We saw it make a bottom there. We weren't here when that happened at 11:40. We came back, saw the same sort of level again, got out at 93.50. Now we'll see if Figma continues to go lower right here into the afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight's big report's going to be Palantir, so we're excited for all of that. And we are looking, Neil was looking at the calendar there. Go to Trader TV Research, get the week's calendar. But we do have AMD on tap as well. But there's Palantir. I mean, I see that Palantir has been higher than this, but I can see on the daily chart here for e-signal. Yeah, I know on our charts, but I don't think it's right. So yeah, you're right here, right now, at all-time highs.
Oh, we'll do this
for Palantir. So that should be pretty exciting there to see what happens into earnings with all-time highs and a nice little 4%, I was about to say 3%, 4% bump today for PLTR on no news other than the fact that, you know, defense spending continues to be there and, you know, AI is a thing and I mean, we like the stock. It's well outperformed its valuation, but you know, it can get even frothier.
You can't be saying 3% when it's 3.9. Rounding is so key.
Oh, no, I just thought it was 3% at one point.
That was the big thing in the unemployment number. That it was like 4.248. So it was so close to being a round up to 4.3, but then ended up 4.2.
Wow. Whoever did that rounding should be fired or something like that. You know, or you know, for sure. You know, fire everybody. Get rid of Powell. Get rid of that labor guy. Kugler got out of there. You know, all these people.
For whatever reason. We don't actually.
You know, President Trump truly is draining the swamp. You know, right now. That was his thing back in whenever the first time he was.
The number of politicians who have said they're going to drain.
When 45 was around, that's what it was. Right now, 47.
Yeah, it's kind of like how every politician is going to fix your roads and fix infrastructure and all of that stuff. Yeah, draining the swamp is just.
How are the roads? How are the roads happening around here? They're not getting fixed anytime soon.
Don't even get started on the stuff in Toronto. We can't get anything done around here, and everything takes 10 times as long as it should. But not us going up to the screen where Sharif is live and living large.
Okay, good.
For the rundown.
I was like, why are you doing that? Welcome to the afternoon rundown, everyone. The show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, they're locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up there is to get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. Super easy to vote now. Throw in that $sign followed by a 3, 4, or 5-letter ticker. Here's a look at all 4 major averages. Here's ANQ up 1 3/4. Great day for the Nasdaq after a tough day for all 4 major averages on Friday on the back of that weak NFP number, as well as the raising of the tariffs again. The Russell 2000 up 1 2/3 with the ES up 1 1/3 top right of your screen. The Dow lagging behind all of them here, up 1.13, but green nonetheless. The first ticker as decided by you, Big Bear AI. No specific news catalyst on this one on the day, but there was this collaboration news item from Thursday. They're looking obviously at collabing with DEFCON AI to transform force readiness and joint logistics capability, guys. So good move up here in the pre-market and continuing in regular trading hours, Big Bear AI.
That as well. We were just talking about Halloween costumes there because people were like, dress up as a bear. And I said, well, someone could dress up as a wee bull.
Or you dress up as any, like just pick a company and try to do a costume for that company.
Then we try to guess it.
Yeah, well, I think some of them would be obvious, because Big Bear AI would probably be the most obvious one, because you just dress as a bear with some kind of an AI thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm going to do.
I won't even see number 4 on this list. It's probably worth avoiding that one, dressing up as in a costume.
You're the one that literally calls it the hooded one, you know. So, I mean, I think like, that's why I'm always wondering what's going on.
You know what though? Here's the funny thing. I'm the only one that could get away with doing it, because you couldn't cancel.
That's what I was wondering. Like, so if you walk in like that.
I just dress up as Clayton Bigsby. But BBAI, bull flags to the left of them, bull flags to the right of them. Volley and thunder. I think that's how it goes. Cannons to the left of them, cannons to that's how it goes.
Maybe, yeah.
So look, there's no specific catalyst here, and ultimately, let's go back to the daily trade. But ultimately, I think it's just dip clean into this $6 level, and you're breaking a bit of a downtrend to come back to the upside here. So look, again, sometimes we get these pauses in stocks where they pull back, you find a support level, and then you just go back to doing what you were doing before, which was heading to the upside. So it looks like a pretty clean break on the daily. I think for this afternoon, my eyes are going to be glued to about the 7 area, because that's an obvious key place. Well, you can't see because my head's in the way. There you go. Obvious key place to find some support. It bounced there once. You had there on the 28th, the nice 7 support. So it's at 7 change, like 716 right now. So looking back, forget about VWAP. I think 7 is the key support area for this afternoon. It's declining volume, so I don't know how. I don't know if it gets down there. Volume's not really there. It's just something's going to have to happen in this market maybe to get you to retest that 7 level. But like the continuation play, pulling back into prior support is always a good thing if you have to dip off recent highs. And that's what BBAI did.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do for Big Bear AI would be to wait. We have 7 days, so it's a week today. We have earnings. So after market close next Monday. It's funny because like today's Palantir, it's a big stock for me. I really like Big Bear AI. It's another big stock. So we'll see if we can get some good reports from them. You know, still not making any money. It's not like they're, you know, a force to be reckoned with, but a couple new deals there in the defense space. We talked about that on Thursday. So we're going to wait to figure out where Big Bear AI goes from here. But as far as a move down, we might have new support now around that $6 mark. So we thought 5 was going to be support at first time, then we come back into the 200 period moving average, but there it is, 450, 5, 550, 6. So it looks like 6 right now was the last little dip down into there, rebought, boom again. So, you know, came back into 6 and open door and like, you know, LiDAR and costs and all them started to get going a couple weeks ago. That started BBAI and sort of the run for some of these low float names, sorry, not that this is a low float, heavily shorted name, and then brought it back into the $6 again spot, and it looks like that just held. So I think you can, if you're long right now, you can probably watch out for that $6 mark, and the 50-period moving average is coming up. So yeah, Big Bear AI reports in 7 days, and again, good number from Big Bear AI would send this thing through the roof, I would think, and catch some of the shorts. So we'll wait to see what happens with Big Bear AI. But again, yeah, I like the stock. And own some of it, and we dumped some at 850, dumped some at 650, so kind of in the middle where we are right now. I like Big Bear AI. Open is another one we had on our list. Started going a little late though today. Let's go find out the story with Open Door.
It was closed early.
Yeah, got closed.
I like that one. Yeah, Sean, you're absolutely right. It took its sweet time there moving off. It wasn't immediately apparent whether this was going to be a big move off the bell, but it ends up making a big move to the high side. On this news, they do dodge delisting and they cancel that reverse split. So the market rewarding them here, holding that price organically above $1.
Yeah, you don't see that as often these days. Like I'm sure there's an example that the second I say this, you guys will give me a stock that came within a hair of getting that delist, and then without a reverse split, manages to pull it off rather cleanly. I mean, it's not like it came back even close to testing $1. Not like $1.65 was the local low. It never even tried. And I was selfishly hoping that with 1 or 2 days left, you might get it close enough to $1 that there'd just be a nice dollar defend. And we said that could happen. I've seen it happen before, and it can be a good trade because there's a vested interest in somebody holding the stock over, and when you see it happen, you take advantage of it. But as far as I'm concerned now, there doesn't seem to be a lot of juice left in it, but it's a pretty decent bull flag. If the volume comes back, its volume is, we were just talking about BBAI and the volume, its volume in this bull flag is actually better than afternoon volume pretty much every single day to end the week. So its lunchtime volume was pretty good. I'd put it in the bucket of much better than others, despite the fact that we're not having a huge volume day. So if you can consolidate breakout above 250, like that local high is like 58, it's like a random price, but I think you could be a good breakout story here. It's really cool to see, somebody not have to reverse split 700 million times and change their name like Mullen did and do it the old-fashioned way. People actually buy the stock.
I love how we just throw on those things all the time on when Neil and I are here. We're like, that's 500 million, there's 700 million times. Like we always talk like that. That's
because I have no idea how many actual splits Mullen did.
But now it has a new name, right? Whatever it was.
D something.
Yeah, I don't know. D-Wave something. No, not D-Wave. Yeah, look, I wrote down Open Door earlier today. I thought the $3. Let's wait to see if it gets going there. Now that they got that Nasdaq delist, but approval, so this compliance has been received, and they can now stay on board for a while. But I was just waiting for that move to start to happen. It actually went the other way before finally basing out around 210 and then started to go again. So I think in the afternoon here, if it wants to go, great. Open Door, a big shortable name one more time that we've talked about. And, look, here's Big Bear AI. We look at that 31% right there and starting to go. And these stocks in a bull market like we have right now, there is, although, we've been in a bull market, it's not, don't look at the last 2 days, but today comes right back. This is 22% short. So, the same gentleman that made the call there on Carvana is trying to do it again here on Big Bear AI. And, when the water's warm, everybody jumps in. So we'll just wait to see what winds up happening now, with really a stock that can go. It's proven it before. So if you're in it, there it goes up to $4 or $5. I mean, we went from $1, basically 50 or 60 cents, up to $4, 10x. I don't think it 10x's from here, but for right now, Open Door, definitely trying to find some levels. I like it at $3, and I think it could be a trade also in and around here, 260. So we'll see about a break earlier or later on this afternoon. But yeah, again, another great name, Open Door. We have it on our note. We'll probably watch this tomorrow as well as we approach that key $3 level.
Tesla next, guys. Elon Musk getting another pay package after that 2018 pay package was canceled by the Delaware court twice last year. They're still actually in the process of appealing that. But yeah, he's going to get about $29 billion, about 93 some odd million shares of Tesla at a $23 strike price. There's more details in there with respect to his focus, time allotted outside Tesla, guys. The market liking it. Tesla off the highs, but positive on the day.
Very much, Ashraf, and we'll get to Tesla because that analysis is going to be brought to you by our friends at VinFast, who delivered over 35,800 EVs in Q2 2025, marking a 172% jump from last year. That brings their first half total to more than 72,000 EVs, up over 220% year over year. With stronger sales usually in the second half, they're on pace to easily double 2024's 97,000 units. They're also crushing it on two-wheelers, with nearly 70,000 e-scooters and bikes sold in Q2, up 432% from a year ago. And with gas-powered and two-wheelers being phased out of Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City by 2026, the growth potential looks huge. You can find them on the Nasdaq, under ticker VFS. Scan the QR code if you want any more information there. I want to get to Optimus in a second.
No, I was just laughing that you said this Tesla analysis brought to you by another EV company.
I know, it's just that's how it rolls.
Man, we're always winning over here.
It's the timing of it. It just so happens. Look, Tesla was a missed opportunity. The pay package thing, I don't know how much it matters. July sales declined. Year-over-year sales. Month-over-month, year-over-year in China. We know it's bad, but it seems to have bottomed out. We liked 300, 305, and a 312 break. Only one of those things happened. Well, only one of those things got traded by me. I shouldn't say only one of those things happened. 305 was essentially the Friday afternoon prior low. It did dip close enough, although I'd venture you probably had to have 306. The 312 break was no good, and really it didn't get close to the 300 level. But it's still bullish, and I'm still remaining bullish, mostly for the reason that we got a bunch of bad sales data, and we've been essentially rallying off of $300. We get to fill in the gap at 330, go right back to 300, and then you have a higher low put in today. I still think we're headed back toward the 330 on Tesla. The other cool thing is, I didn't realize this, you can actually pre-order Optimus, and we're just kind of laughing about this. We weren't laughing about it, I didn't actually
The website looks sick.
The website's crazy. There's like 3 versions of Optimus.
Which one? I mean, what are the details of what is the deal? Like, what do you get with Gen 1 over there?
Gen 1. Your friend was right. So you get like household tasks, home assistance, 8 hours of autonomous operation.
Calm down.
Charge time. Now remember, this is like pre-ordering. This is pre-ordering. Like you can't actually get it yet. Goes up to 4 miles per hour, load capacity.
It runs 4 miles an hour? That's pretty sick.
Oh, I can tell you the third one, load capacity is like triple this, like 130 pounds.
Everyday household tasks?
Yeah, voice control.
Well, this is the one I'm talking about. This is the one I need.
Yeah, it's 23 grand. Does it fight? Sharif just asked me if it fights. Let's see if the Gen 3.
It does. Yeah.
Probably, I'm assuming it doesn't fight, but 24 hours of operation for that one, 132-pound low capacity, 2-hour charging time to get 24 hours of operation.
What was the other operation? What was the other one?
Let me just go back. What do we say? 8 hours of operation, 2-hour charging time.
8 is aight.
But yeah, artificial intelligence, deep self-learning, and autonomous decision-making.
Oh my God.
We're getting excited over here.
I'm just saying.
But anyways, I think that's the next little level there for Tesla, right? I mean, we talked about it, trying to get away from those, the cheap cars and trying to become more efficient in that. BYD, NIO, I mean, we talked about some of the movements today in the EV space there with VinFast as well. I mean, there's just so much competition. RIVN produced a great amount of, sold more cars than expected there on their last release. So it's the EV space is crowded, and it's been crowded for the last couple of years. Obviously, Tesla first mover advantage, take advantage of that. Now get the market cap that they have. So what's the next sort of look? I like that on Tesla. I also had, I'm not going to go over it anymore. I had 305 written down on here as well. We missed it. For Amazon, though, this is what I like here for Amazon. I know you're just taking that, and then my stupid sticky note thing shows up there. All right. So I was just going to say right here, if we break on Amazon in and around VWAP, I mean, I have VWAP on here as 213.80. For some reason again, we have different charts all over the place, but on eSignal right now, it's 213.50. I'm just gonna go with that because the top, and sometimes it just, our data could be a little different. It shows maybe dark pool prints that maybe others don't. But I mean, to be off by 10 cents is not that big of a deal. But right into there is 213.50. So I'm going to play, it's really 213.60, but I'm going to try a break right there on Amazon just to see if it gets going. We're down 0.85. I think this name goes a little further than that. But yeah, I like Tesla off that $300 mark. I mean, I'm surprised we're not getting a little more play there in the media about Optimus being now available to buy like that or pre-order like that. So I don't know if there was a date for delivery on that, but I think that's pretty cool.
I couldn't find one.
Thing is, people like cool things. It's not like they'll just buy that just to buy it, and it's like
rich, you're buying one of them.
23,000. Look, it's a lot of money, but at the end of the day, it's not really. I mean,
there's a lot of millionaires in the world.
It's like for the people that will buy that, 23 grand. I mean, it's not unbelievable, and I don't want to sound
what
like.
If it can hook up my fade, that'd be cool.
Yes, it can hook up everyday household chores.
Well, I don't know.
Barber.
Well, if that's why not? But why not?
I mean, a lot of people cut hair at home. Like I just wonder if it's again, could it be a software thing?
I would never do.
Oh no.
My barber, we're tight. He's cool people. But at the same time, it's you start to imagine the things that it could do.
Right, and we don't know. So 23. Let me put it this way: $23,000 if it doesn't do much is a lot for a coat hanger or whatever, right?
Think of it this way: like how many pitches you throw at practice?
I think you're talking about that was a guy. So BP, we had these 16-ounce weighted balls that we throw at them, so that when they hit them, they just kind of bounce and they only go 10 feet. So like we throw wiffle balls at them, they're going everywhere, right? They're smoking them all over the place. And so I had one of my coaches throw them, and we had 11 girls there, and he throws at least 10 or 15 to each one of them. Yeah, so right there, that's 150 pitches. So yeah, to your point, yeah, I mean, they could be used for many, many things.
No, there was one practice I threw like 300 and something. And I remember afterwards, we were doing the math, which was like, you were throwing a lot. I was like,
yeah, I know.
With the number of buckets we went through, I'm like, that was pretty stupid. We should have switched it off. But
yeah,
Optimus, just saying.
Joey, you want Friday, September 5th off?
Yeah, buddy. What's the 5th?
We'll see about that. That's already approved, my God. Damn you, Joe. All right. All right, let's go. Yeah,
probably NFL games that.
Yeah, what do you do? What's going on that day? Wedding. Well, wedding. Oh, yeah, so you're that age now. So like now when you're, 30 something, that's prime. Like late 20s to sort of mid 30s is when that's like a major.
We haven't been to a wedding in forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone in our crews. Yeah. That's what happens when you get old.
They're either getting married for the second time. You know
what the next phase is though is when you're going to people's kids' weddings. So like when Baxter gets married or let's not think about that. We got a super chat that we're gonna go back over to Robinhood. Big smile. You know what?
There's always something about big smiles.
I'm going to read it, Sharif. Can you get an Optimus that looks like Sydney Sweeney for Sharif?
Bang! Immediately.
Yeah, those pretty much already exist.
First of all,
you can get those dolls, Sharif. I'm not sure if Sharif is familiar with those, but maybe, maybe not.
I can't believe you just said yes immediately. You should realize, come on, man. You walked into that one.
Ouch.
Keep somebody happy. Let's go over and talk about Robinhood.
By the way, guys, the Tesla, the robot, whatever, Optimus, it's at the actual Tesla diner in LA giving people popcorn. So if you want to see it in action there, pull up a YouTube video of that. Here's a chart on Robinhood. No catalyst today for Robinhood, but a nice bounce back after that sell-off last week, up about 6.5%, boys.
Robinhood.
Neil has a nickname for it, and I actually just typed that in to the top.
You typed the hooded one?
I just typed in hooded, and I was like, what am I doing?
Yes.
Why'd I get no quote?
What's silly about this stock is like why, every now and then you'll have a good quarter where it gets sold and nobody understands it, but then the buying just comes in after. So apparently that's what's the case here with Robinhood. I flipped from a long to a short. The short was flat. But I think the bigger story for Robinhood is I'm going to try this ruler tool because on Friday, I didn't change the colors. You can't read that very well.
I know. Remember we had that.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's.
What is it? What does that say, anyways?
Oh, in fact, let's just do it easier. It gave you an $11 move. That's the easiest way to do it. Yeah, $11 move. And essentially has a chance to do the same thing, buy the dip, and go $11 bottom to top. And so a lot of times, if you had that, I want to get rid of that. If you had that thought that, hey, the stock is a buy and the market's not doing it based on the earnings and it's a disappointment, just wait for a long opportunity and maybe try to get a little bit more out of it. I flipped at 103 long to short. You can see as a scalp trade that didn't do much. I'd be a little bit concerned about 107 and 108 up here because of what happened last week at those highs. Like clearly sellers in control above 107 into like 108. And the fact that it's still lower highs on the daily. Like you're actually not that, you're close, but you still have to go through the 108 level to get to the all-time high in Robinhood. Like it's wild to me that everyone was like, oh, they should have gone into the S&P and Coinbase went first and then now XYZ goes in. Well, what's happened since then? Robinhood's going back up to the top and Block gave up everything that it gained for going into the S&P 500. So how much did that end up mattering? Nothing for the stocks. Like it didn't do anything for Block except trap people long. And if you sold Robinhood because they didn't get in, well, you're losing now. So sometimes we care too much about things like that. Like it's nice, and it'll be nice when they get added to the S&P 500, but it's just kind of proven that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was going to say they had their first gap profitable quarter, and we saw what that meant for a stock like Palantir and all of that. So now finally starting to make money. You know, the average user, you know, younger than, you know, most major banks and most major trading platforms. So, you know, Robinhood does have a path, and I just feel that once you subscribe to a service or a bank and you're a member, not that Robinhood's not a bank, but a platform that you trust and to trade off of, then you're probably not leaving. I mean, you know, they're always going to be competitive on price. They have a few fun little features there, the gold card and whatnot. So as Robinhood continues to be more and more popular amongst the youth, I think there's a lot of runway for this because more money's coming in, man. Like if you're a 20-year-old or 25-year-old and you've just got a Robinhood account, what happens is that as you mature in your life, you know, you have more disposable income, and then you're looking to trade more, you're looking to invest more. So someone right now that might have $20,000 or $5,000 under management at Robinhood or something like that, the next time they sign a deal with somebody, like they get their first employment or whatever they're doing, they're out of school, and they start to become more active potentially in investing or trading, those accounts just get higher and higher and higher. So as long as they can stay there with the customer support and competitive pricing, I think Robinhood is a winner for a very long time. I don't know what brings it back down, to be honest with you. You know, crypto's not going anywhere. Yeah, we like all of this. What? So yeah, Joe really likes Robinhood. That's what's going on. He likes the karaage chicken, and he likes Robinhood.
A lot, apparently.
A lot of karaage chicken.
Eat it.
Putting over there. All right, I don't know. I said to the wife, "Hey, wife." So I said, "Hey, wife, how's it going? Love you." And then I said, "What's going on for dinner?" Because she's always telling me pick something up, or she's always asking, like they're always doing something. You know, they're going shopping, getting it, just a topic of conversation. But everything's closed.
There's not a lot open, man.
So I don't know. Summerhill Market's open. I was like, I'm going to pick up some sausage from Sanigan's or something like that, Farm Boy, something like that. But at the end of the day, everything's closed.
They make you eat out on.
Now that we talked about that karaage chicken over there, maybe there'll be something going on with that. Maybe sushi. The kids don't mind sushi.
My daughter, we haven't had sushi.
We haven't had it in a minute either.
Like 2 months probably.
Yeah.
Ooh. I actually, you know
what is Robinhood's short float? Someone just put it in the chat there.
It can't be that big. Robinhood?
I'm gonna say, just make a guess. I'm gonna say 13.
Oh, I was gonna say like 7.8. I think it's single digits.
As soon as I said that, yeah, wow, way lower. 4%. Yeah, no one's. People have learned their lesson.
Yeah, they wised up.
On that one, yeah. So.
Yeah, well, they wised up. But that's I think that's what you want to see. Like, how stupid would it be if a stock that did what Robinhood did still had a short float?
Joe's finding new buttons on his iPhone right now.
You see how excited
Joe, it's the volume.
Like, I love the excitement. Look how you have to see how excited he is to find that new button. Like he's giddy over there. That's great to see, man. Congratulations, Joe.
Yeah, congratulations, Joe. Oh, you got the blue? The blue looks nice. I like the blue. Show Joe on there.
Get in the building
matching. We'll show Joe after. Okay, let's go over to Sharif.
All right, last one, guys. Palantir reports after the bell today at around 4:05. Make sure to catch the market recap show with Neil and Adara. They'll be taking you through this. But here's what we're expecting, guys. Q2 revenue expected to come in at $939 million, which would be about a 39% increase from revenue this time last year, guys. And just to give you an idea of Palantir and their veracity to beat, they beat earnings 14 of the last 18 times, up another 4% today.
We're just debating, like, does Palantir sometimes is in the pre-market, or because I don't remember ever like really getting too involved in it during the recap show.
Neither do I, but we will tonight. That's for dang sure.
Yeah.
4:05 says Sharif.
We're excited.
Well, it better be 4:05. Well, I mean, it's Palantir and it's HIMS, and it's not that HIMS can't do big moves, but I mean, I don't know how. Like, look, let's be real. HIMS is a squeeze stock. It relies on the short float. It's a great vehicle, but in terms of like consistent volume trading, Palantir kind of is an everyday thing. Like Palantir is tradable tomorrow. I don't know if HIMS is going to be a trade tomorrow. I think that's the difference. Anyways, another all-time. Oh no, it didn't. Did it?
It did.
Yeah, it did.
E-Signal had it at 160.60.
Because this is at the open at just under 161, and then again here. But this wick at the open here, you got to go to a 3-minute chart. That's better, because that's real. It did spike right at the open to make a new fresh high, and it's trying to put another one in here. I don't know, why not a top end break? What is that? I gotta check to see if this wick is real. 160.92 is the high. Because then it sets up for a 161 break this afternoon, if that's a real wick. I'll check it on eSignal as well. But as far as Palantir goes, don't worry about the valuation. It's a momentum play. And if it does drop, I'm thinking 145 tonight. 145 to 146. That's the bottom of this channel, which is held since this would be the May lows, and it's held the bid every single time it's dropped in. That would be like $14, so it's less than a 10% move. And our expected move was 12. So if it bounces off the bottom of that channel, I want to double check. Yeah, if it bounces off the bottom of that channel, then it's held less than the expected move if it moves to the downside. For this afternoon, like why not take a shot at a 161 break, just see what it can do. We've seen it go powerhouse before. But, you know, as far as the earnings go, like I said, the price to sales and their EPS, like none of those things are going to be that great. And you have to remember, in a bull market like we have, in an unprecedented wave that we have with AI, valuations are going to be nuts. And here's the thing. There's going to be companies with crazy valuations that justify them in 5 to 10 years. And there's going to be companies with crazy valuations that are gone in 5 to 10 years. And your job is just to decide whether you think they'll be around or not. Like I had this conversation with my dad last week, and he remembered when it was Amazon. People said this about, look how much money they lose, look how ridiculous the valuation is. And you just had to ask yourself if you believe this would be a thing in 10 years and try to keep it relatively simple. The government seems to think so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm long Palantir not getting out of anything. I think you could see a 200 print tonight. I really think it could get out of control if that sales number is as big as we think it is. They are the leading provider for data software and integration into AI. So enterprise. So the thing is like these government contracts that they have are very sticky. They're going to keep growing. And again, it's just if you believe in the long-term trend of data and AI and enterprise, Palantir has right now like a huge stranglehold on that business. So there's other players, Snowflake, there's a few other names out there that can, catch up at some point. BBAI, we talked about them just getting a contract as well. But I really think that Palantir right here have the path now to consistent profitability. It's been a couple quarters in a row of profits. We'll see tonight the number that they put out. If sales are robust, there's no slowing this name down. There's a lot of companies that haven't even integrated AI yet. I mean, let alone, it's kind of everything came together with them because of, the immigration and everything that's been happening right now with 47 and everything. So as Palantir continues to grow as this world becomes a little more, unfortunately, unstable, I think that benefits Palantir. So, I like it. I like the big data. And not only that, they do have, they work with businesses as well, small businesses, large businesses, and I think there's a big demand for the ever shifting sort of momentum towards AI and big data and somehow becoming more profitable by using their software. And I think if you were able to do that, then you're not going anywhere. And they're in the most stickiest of positions where the government is there. Continuously renewing, the Navy has contract with them, Army, immigration, their ICE, like all these border control, security, they're all there.
You know what you got to watch? There's the new War of the Worlds movie with Ice Cube.
War of the Worlds.
And let's just say there's a Palantir feel to the way that they theme the movie has a Palantir feel without spoiling too much. It's an interesting take on a classic. But they don't.
Huh?
Yeah, they don't name. They don't. There's no company that's running the big government like AI surveillance thing. But it's like if you watch the movie, you're like, if you try to think of what company it would be, it's like it would have been Palantir.
I got involved.
Ice Cube's pretty good in it too.
Yeah, I like Ice Cube. I got involved in Palantir off its direct list. I mean, it has nothing to do with like warmongering or anything like that. It's like it was an AI play to begin with, and they've just grown into the company that they are today, right? I mean, they're not going to turn down anything. And Alice Karp is pretty ruthless. I mean, these guys are definitely all about everything. So pro-USA. It's a right time for that stock. So we'll see tonight. I think if they do miss badly or something happens, stock could get annihilated as well. So, I mean, we weren't expecting Amazon to be down 8 or 9%, whatever they fin. I mean, I know they was a little bit of a rally, but at the lows there that day, and you know, anything can happen. If Amazon could go down on a bad cloud number, Palantir can go down on a bad sales number. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't think they'll guide.
Think they have comps. There's no, like Palantir doesn't have comps the same way.
No, but there's a lot of analysts. I don't know what the expected number is for them tonight. We can look that up.
Yeah.
But it will move, and if they don't hit the expectations, then they be done.
Speaking of Amazon,
yeah, let's go.
The market is literally at the highs. I mean,
I had Amazon for a
figuratively at the highs. It's not actually. It's not literally at the highs, so fair enough. But we're at the top of the Nasdaq, as you can very, very clearly see in bull flagging. Amazon's chart is the exact opposite of the Nasdaq today. It's like it dropped, it bounced when the market made a high, and now it's heading right back into the lows. This one is not really calming down after that cloud miss. The AW. You know what? I'm not. To call it a cloud miss is not fair. Their cloud growth was just simply a lot smaller than their competitors. Like Azure was, I think, close to 40%, and then Alphabet was like 32% year over year, and then they were 17%. So that's not gonna cut it, because if we've seen something at the Mag 7 lately, it's that you get to pick. You're not just buying them as a group like you were before and all of them would win. That's just not what's happening. Like, you're in a situation where you get to pick which ones you like and the market's picking which ones they don't like. And so when Google kind of got punished for their quarter, Meta was through the roof, and Microsoft had a great quarter as well. Like, they were all booming. Amazon, the slightest thing, and you get sold. I guess that's what it boils down to. But I think that's going to create a value proposition for Amazon.
And what's the left of that chart? So it's all the way back to January prices, the very left. Yeah.
Oh, you're like right here.
No, very.
Oh, right left. That's November of last year.
Yeah, so you're getting the same price. So you could have missed Amazon for the last year, and you gain the same price.
Which is crazy.
I like that kind.
And it's the 200 period moving average. I think.
I want to buy more.
Yeah, like this is to me is a 200 period buy. I like it on Amazon. It's hard not to. As far as the trade goes, I get it. Like if you didn't really find much. Like you could make an argument. You know, it didn't even bounce off of Friday's lows. I was about to say, like, maybe you could find a bounce spot on the chart. I'm not really seeing it unless you just say $210. If we get there, it looks like a bit of a buy, but. Yeah, it's just a tale of two cities. Like Alphabet is, again, the complete opposite chart. And what happened on Alphabet earnings? We were just like, why didn't it hold that the move up? And it just kind of has been sideways, but it's pushing back towards some of the highs here in Alphabet. What I love about this is since failing the top of the channel after earnings, or rejecting the top of the channel, a fail would go all the way back. It doesn't even sniff the bottom end. So it's holding a higher low. I think Google's primed to get to this $200. I mean, pun not intended. It's not a swing at Amazon at all. But Alphabet, I think, looks really good to get back to that 200 level, and I guess get to its high first. That is not something a few months ago I would never have bet you that Alphabet gets to its high before Amazon. No chance. But now it seems after that quarter, it seems very likely, especially after the quarter.
Yeah, Google's coming back, Jack. We like that one. All right, so I just took a position in Palantir. So right now, following this 50-period moving average, the other day when SoFi had the huge move early, and then it just followed the 50-period all the way down. And about this time, we were able to short a great trade there in SoFi and bring it all the way into the bottom of the day there, right at the close pretty much. And so we had a nice winner long and a nice winner short. I'm going to just try to basically take a quarter of a unit right here. So you want 100 shares, it's gonna be 25 shares right here. And then if you bring it back into this level, it looks like there's some support hanging around 160. So I put my other quarter of a position right here at 160. I don't wanna get too excited about this right now. I'd like to see it break. We put on another quarter if it breaks, maybe 161. I think that's reasonable. I'm not, as Neil said, he's gonna look into this little wick there and what we were looking back, but it doesn't really matter. That's right off the open. So it for sure got up to this area. It's more like this break is almost imminent right here, like 160.75. So I'll start it right now, just a small amount. So if it does come back in, we will take the L, and then we'll wait to see if it holds this 200 period moving average. We got some questions about that earlier on in the day, you know, what was going on with these 200 periods and how do you use them and whatnot. So I like to use them for support, and it's lining up with actual physical support down there at a key level of 160. So the implied move for Palantir is 12%. Listed their market wide. So they're looking for a 12% move in this. They've beat 14 of their last 18 quarters. So odds forever in your favor, but maybe not
That
forever.
print is real.
Okay, good. So we'll wait for that. Melly tonight, Palantir and Hims. Hims implied move
17.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big one there for Hims tonight. So we'll wait to see what that gives us. Thanks, Adara, for updating us on some of those plays for tonight, as it'll be with Neil and Adara. Yeah. So also. Berkshire, like you talked about that write down in Heinz. Berkby is a New York stock, so we'll call that up right now. This stock remains in a little bit of trouble today, which is kind of a little bit, it's not that it's puzzling or anything, it's just like, you know, I'm actually going to Google their top holdings and figure that out, because that should have been updated after their quarterly release. But I don't really, you know, they're a big insurance play as well. This name has gotten really beat up, so I don't know if they've lost their way. Before I put some more money into Berkshire, we're going to have to read more about what's going on there. But 4% decline in operating profits, so that's not great. Like, that's actually pretty bad, especially in this environment, and then tied to a write-down in its Kraft Heinz stake. So HNZ, but it didn't... KHC, right, KHC. Coming out right there, the Kraft Heinz company. All right, pretty cool, right there. So we'll find out what this stock looks like. And again, a lot of that attributed, so a lot of that attributed to Forex, you know, headwinds, and we talked about multinationals bringing money back into the United States. So if you have a strong dollar, oh, well, actually right there, like, so you can actually draw, it's not looking, you know, all these tops sort of keep on going. That's going to be rough.
In hindsight,
tomato paste.
I take zero credit for the hindsight pun. All I have to say is rest in peace to our boy. One of the funniest moments
used to trade Heinz
in
a lot.
floor history. No, it was. I'll get to the read in a second.
I know. He was talking about.
There was an unbelievable. There was an unbelievable conversation that happened on the floor, and it was a couple of traders, and one of our boys was just sort of listening into the conversation. And one guy said, "Man, this crazy move and blah blah blah. In hindsight, I should have done this." And then our boy just kind of jumped in. You know when you didn't hear most of the conversation? And he goes, "Yo, man, that Heinz stock is crazy. I agree with you, man. I should have got this at whatever." Because he just heard hindsight and just thought Heinz and thought I could jump into the convo. So we would kill him after that. Like every single time was, "Yo, that Heinz stock, bro." And he tried to play it off like he really did trade Heinz, but he didn't. He was good people. May he rest in peace. He's like the nicest person you ever met. We clown him over that Heinz thing over and over again. But don't be a clown, everybody. If you're interested in boosting your exposure and want to tap into the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500, then check out Beta Pro's 3X Daily Leverage ETFs, featuring built-in FX hedging. This aims to amplify short-term market moves, minimizing the impact of currency swings. Whether you're feeling bearish or bullish today, these ETFs are built for active day traders ready to take on the market. Read the full risk disclosure in the prospectus at betapro.ca before investing. Scan the QR code you see right there in front of you, and you'll note that while the market's not doing much, Alphabet just broke the high of the day in going and going and going. 3% now for Alphabet. Absolutely.
195.
Whoops, there we go. Absolutely pumping higher right now. It's got room. It's some room to go. 197 is the local high on Alphabet. It's one of the only things moving. I was sort of checking out my trade rate. Like nothing on this is really going crazy. Like Alphabet actually, not even the top of the list. Okay, that's weird. It was just 7th and then it popped up to like 2nd. You guys just saw that on the tree. So it is one of the names out there, but it's all like the regular suspects. I have no idea how Ford is even in the top 10 on the trade rate. That pretty much never makes any sense. But anyways, Google breaking the high of the day when not much else is happening. But there is one other name I wanted to quickly get to. That's the TON coin, the TON treasury, whatever the heck. It's some kind of a token, I suppose, TON. Not familiar with it. If it's popular, don't at me. But TON is going to be the subject of a treasury by Verb. Verb is up a bajillion%, or more specifically 166% on that story. I feel like we've been getting a lot of these, and a lot of people have said, oh, does this signal that we're having a bit of a topping moment? I think in the cycle of like the crypto cycle where Bitcoin makes the breakout, then everything follows with it, I think we're getting to that point. Like Bitcoin started to pull back, we saw 112. I would be cautious, like I keep saying, I'd be very cautious with these going forward. Like this one's working out for you and holding trend all day. But I feel as if we're starting to get to that point, kind of like how I feel with these IPOs and FIG, like it's gonna get to the point where one of these is not gonna be so pretty. Someone's gonna say, hey, we're doing a Bitcoin treasury. It's gonna try to go and then be an abject disaster for everybody. Like this one's working really well. And I said Bitcoin, this isn't even Bitcoin, it's TON, whatever that is, like I said.
Dare explain it, it powers, what network?
It was all kind of in, I don't know if, okay, it was all in very like flowery, weird wording, but the man they're going to get is their new executive chairman, Manuel Stotz, once the company is combined. He said that apparently Telegram and Toncoin kind of run on each other's ecosystems. I'm not sure the veracity of that. It was all very flowery, but yeah, I mean, that seems to be the argument, at least from people who are going to be involved in the new combined company, as for why that makes sense.
There might be something there. And just
in Telegram, I don't know. I don't use it.
Oh no, it's our buddies on
Signal. Yeah, because he doesn't want anybody reading his messages, which I guess is fine.
Well, our whole high school crew's on WhatsApp, and this one dude's like, I got to be on Signal. I'm not
the thing is, do you know how much cash Berkshire has?
There's still a record positive, but I thought it was. They barely deployed anything.
They
this
deployed
year.
basically nothing. That's the problem.
It's ridiculous.
That's why they're getting killed. As the market goes up to all-time highs, they haven't bought anything. They haven't done anything. They took the big write-down in KHC. $344 billion. They could just buy Palantir. Wow. Like the market cap of most of these companies that we're talking about, there's only a handful of companies that are above 400 billion in market cap, period.
Well, here's the problem.
That's the cash they're sitting.
But if you're but if you're a value investor,
and you're not getting the greatest rate either.
All the value, like all the quote unquote value companies, like go look and try to find like good historical PEs, and everything is trading at a good historical PE is a company that you probably don't want.
Well, look,
nothing that looks like that kind of value actually looks any good as in a quote unquote investment. Like you're left with saying things like, well, Google relative to the Mag 7's at a good PE. I'm like, yeah, but it's still technically kind of expensive.
Largest Google?
Alphabet.
Oh, no, it's under the S&P 500. I think.
I know, but if you looked at an Alphabet historical PE, like yes, it's better than the other Mag 7. It's good compared to the market, but you couldn't call it like some crazy value. And because he's always trying to get like this deep value, and those types of names are not doing well in this environment.
No, it's bad. I mean, especially grabbing a lot of these bank stocks. We talked about them writing down some BAC as well. That had a bad story to it today. Apple's coming in right now, by the way. Nice little move there on Apple, getting into the lows of the day. But we have to go to Adair first, I believe, and then we'll come back over here. Is that right, Fabian?
Keep an eye on Redwire. This one's at day's highs. RDW, apparently Fox Business News teasing a, quote, major announcement related to the company after their upcoming segment. So keep an eye here on RDW. Seems like there could be a major Redwire-related announcement coming up on Fox Business News. I did look into the company. They do aerospace and defense. Certainly a hot sector, especially with Palantir earnings tonight. In terms of their market cap, $2.13 billion. They are part of the Russell 2000. They do have a short float here of about 16.5%. So decent short float for RDW. Let's see what this announcement ends up being. Back to you.
Just took out the day's high, and we have that long, so we're long in Palantir. But I was just going to show you some of the stocks. So the top, according to 13F filing, there for Q1 2025. We're talking about Berkshire right now. Apple, largest holding. Look what Apple's been doing, right? Absolutely nothing. If anything, well underperforming what the S&P 500, Nasdaq, all of that. So if you're going to use Berkshire as like a sort of a benchmark against the indexes, that's bad. Bank of America, their second largest holding, BAC. And so that's had, look, the banks have been pretty hot. There's no doubt about that. But here's the move back in for BAC, right? And so they're obviously going to be up on these positions. Then we have AXP, American Express, is their next largest. So we got Apple, BAC, AXP, these are all names where AI has not really been part of the story, so that continues to go to the downside, followed by Coca-Cola, Chevron. I mean, we saw CVX, not super.
Doesn't do much.
Yeah, not great either. And when you're collecting a dividend in this environment, you got to pay tax on that. You know, a 3 or 4% dividend like a Chevron would be given, like look at Chevron. Well, what this has been giving you, you can get that in the open market. I mean, we just talked about the interest rate cut, and we could talk about that right now.
Go to money markets and grab that.
Yeah, you're at 4% right here, right? And so there it is right here. The overnight lending rate right now, 4 to 4.5%. When you're a Berkshire Hathaway, you can get better than this. If you're going to give someone $1 billion to watch, or how about $300 billion? It's not really worth it. They have expenses and all that to pay as well. But here it is right now, as of current moment in time, 88% chance that we get that rate cut now. It was, we had people on the air here, we had lots of people, we had Mr. Kevin O'Leary saying no rate cuts, everything, guaranteeing no rate cuts, all of this stuff. Now, that looks foolish at this point. Now that can change, and this is why Neil and I and many of you often say things like you can't, it's not about trusting the numbers, it's just you can't trust these predictions, because at any given time, some of these numbers can drop and influence what this looks like. So into December 20, the last movement there at the end of the year, now there's a 53% chance that we had 3 cuts. Right down there, 350 to 375. So a lot of opportunity here for those of you that are maybe thinking, you know, rates need to come down. It looks like that's going to be a play. So maybe you're into IWM.
Which
maybe
is flying, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we had Kugler resign, people wondering what was up with that. But yeah, Palantir just came right back just a little bit now, back down into the downside. Oops, that's the daily chart for Palantir. We don't necessarily want to look at that, but there it is, breaking through that high and coming right back in. New high of the day, 160.75. So it was about 20 cents in the money there at one point on Palantir, and right now I'm just going to try to fix my layout, bring this back down. I like to look at a day chart just for this, but as far as my day trades are concerned, it doesn't really have too much effect over there. But yeah, that's what we're looking at right now for Palantir. Let's see if it can continue to climb a little bit higher. Any stocks? Oh, LICN is apparently, according to Mike P. Ryder, is moving up
that
here.
Gerald and a lot of people are saying, yeah, I guarantee you new data would have affected Kevin O'Leary's opinion. Like that's the whole point. It's just that who actually saw that labor?
Well, it's not calling him out. I'm just saying there's a lot of people,
like
including us.
There was nobody. And if there's somebody that was calling for 3 cuts, and now that's over 50%, I don't recall hearing a single person. And I don't think even anybody that thought that the labor market might show a little bit of weakness. Like I've thought that, but there's no way I thought it was going to be the revisions that we saw. Like it was much more weakness than anticipated. Yeah. And if you go by their mandate, it cannot be ignored. If there's any further signs that this is the actual state of the labor market, then it just flat out cannot be ignored by their mandate. So I can't, especially when you had never seen 2 descents in the first place in 30 years, right? So you already had something historic in terms of the descent to not do anything, and then now you're getting more data which suggests that they should. So like you said, like the IWM's probably going to be on a bit of a jaunt. Almost said jaunt. Jaunt. Jaunt is
like a light run.
Yeah, you know what? Exact definition, I'm not even sure. Let's call it a jog. It's going to be. Looks like it'll be on a nice little jog back up to 225. Something we should be discussing. I don't even. Yeah, with that back up at 90%, if nothing changes, I think you go like trend long into 25. But I wanted to say something about Verb because I got sidetracked. I'm looking for a short in Verb. I tried it once, and you know, sometimes I've said this before. Like sometimes you see a price level that you're eyeballing, and instead of it falling apart at that price level, the buyers, if you're short, the buyers just come out in full force. That's what happened at 24. Like once, twice when I was in it, like it was an obvious buyer at 24, and it just did it again off the 24 level on Verb. So I'm looking for this to break down under 24 into the volume weighted average price. I have this one up on a side chart. This is the TON holding.
Right, Palantir's starting to run.
Thing.
Palantir could run into the close. So I just took the first piece off, took off 10%, a little bit under 10% right there at 75. Now we're starting to go higher there. That was the previous high of the day. So we'll take a little bit. We're long at 56. We just put this on for you. Not for you. We just put this on during the show. And there it goes now. We'll see if it can get a little bit higher here for Palantir into the close. I mean, you know, traders that are short this name, I don't know if they're going to cover pre-earnings or not, but okay. There, what did we just get? It just ripped up and filled us. That was 90s there. So we just got a 90, high of the day 92. We were sitting at 90. So there it goes again. Another 40 cents there. Wow, 35 cents. It's not too bad. You want to see the baby video? Well, I don't know. Andre has that. We've played that baby video with. If you want to see the baby video, you can go over here. I'm sure it's somewhere on here at some point. Hey, here's Joe. Here's Joe right here. All of us. Neil wasn't here that day. Here's the baby video. So we'll. I'll just put this in the chat there. You can go find it. It's too funny. Kevin O'Leary telling us both to go to hell and all that kind of stuff, and it was really good there. And he also said I can go to hell if I don't go to the gym the next couple of days. And that day was the day of the IPO where we had Figma, and he was on the air, and I just sat my rear in this seat basically for 3 hours, and then had the best day of the year for myself there. So we went there today. Look at this guy. There's my see, I'm wearing the same watch right now. There's Neil laughing it up. This was too funny, but that was a great video. I'll put that in the chat. Oh, there it is. I just put it in. Go find me on Instagram. Instagram is really popping off today because we celebrate again big victory there, and you know, my twin right here. So I want to say shout out to Gia. It's funny because Barron was there. In case you might think I just have a daughter, I have also 2 sons. But he's there sitting there. He's like, oh, you know, he finds a tree, he sits under the tree, he's watching the game. He's got his iPhone. He's doing his thing. That's, you know, yeah, he's checking out some of the, you know, other games and walking around and doing his own thing. He definitely supports his sister, but he's not as, you know, into all of that.
He's a really he's from my memory.
He's a monster now, by the way.
Very
if I show
independent.
Yeah. He's he's not no kid no more. If you see this,
well,
man,
I mean, you know,
he's bigger than you.
But everyone's a kid to me.
Yeah.
It's a figure of speech.
Like, you know, our friend that starts with Zed.
A kid.
You know, our friend that starts with Zed. His oldest is very, very small. Yeah. My guy is almost, he's like my size basically. I mean, he's not my weight, but he's tall, he's big, and he's the one that should be the athlete. But he's actually, he just got finished playing basketball. He actually really
was he getting the
likes
ball?
Basketball.
Nice.
Yeah, he likes that. I think he'd be like me, like one of those power centers or something like that, just grabbing big country Bryant Reeves or something.
You were the shot touch. And
I don't think he has that much of a shot. He's more of a rebounder, more of like a Dennis Rodman, elbows in your face.
You know what I wish we still did?
Kind of guy there.
When we had, one of the most fun things that we ever did on the trading floor was years back. We had the trading floor had a dodgeball team. And
that'd be a lot of fun.
Like we entered a Toronto recreational dodgeball league, and then on purpose, like the trader who signed us up for it, signed us up for like the lowest level league on purpose. And the reason for that was so that we could finish the trading day, go have a few pops at the bar, and then go out and just crush people.
Yeah, that was fun. We wound up winning or something.
Oh yeah, we won. We won the championship, and like we didn't take. Well, most of us didn't take it too seriously. Obviously, you know who took it way too seriously. Shout out to Preddy, but she was way too hardcore.
There was a trader on this floor that used to have a stuffed monkey similar to this, and she would call it Choco, I think it was, something like that. Yeah. And we throwing it everywhere, and then these guys would steal it, you know.
What do you mean these guys? I stole it maybe once.
Jozo.
Twice, tops. I'm not the one that put it in the freezer. It was
okay,
no, but if you bring a stuffed animal, it's like this is my little stuffed animal onto a trading floor, with a bunch of young immature dudes. What do you think is going to happen to it? Exactly what you would expect. But we're more mature now. Let's go to
way more mature.
Oh,
way more mature.
I mean, most of us, anyways. Sharif,
Joe. Adara? Where's Adara? There she is.
Take a look here at the earnings on watch for tomorrow. It's a pretty big day. Tomorrow morning, we get some names of note. Lemonade, we're gonna get BP, Cat and Pfizer. And then after the bell, we're gonna get, basically there's something for everyone. If you like meme stock, there's something for you. If you like semiconductors, there's something for you. We have the likes of AMD, Supermicro, Snapchat, Open Door, Arista Networks, Upstart, AMZN, Toast, RIVN, and that's not even all of them. Check this out on X at TTV Research to prepare yourself for what I expect will be a very exciting day tomorrow, not least because of earnings. There are some ISM PMI and S&P PMI prints tomorrow morning as well. So all around should be an exciting session. Check out X at TTV Research for your daily earnings and events calendar. I do post these every day around this time. Back to you.
Yeah, don't sleep on the lemonade.
Go to that. So I told you my daughter, she got the coupon for the Chick-fil-A. That's the best thing there is the lemonade. Well, I mean, sandwich. People really like the nuggets and stuff like that too.
Imagine there's something better than lemonade.
Oh, there is, but no, but the lemonade at Chick-fil-A is very, very good.
I love
yeah, shout out to
fresh lemonade,
a nice refreshing drink.
That
That was the best. That was one of the
refreshing
good scenes in.
Delirious.
Oh yeah, Delirious. No, but I was talking about Happy Gilmore too, where it's Jack Nicklaus there, and he's like, "I'll have an Arnold Palmer" or something like that, and I forget the line, but it was pretty classic there. But it was a shout out to Arnold, who's obviously passed away.
He asked specifically. He says that he doesn't say an Arnold Palmer. He says what's in it, and the guy's like an Arnold Palmer.
Right, whatever the quote was. But I thought that was a nice little.
For those that don't like the Happy Gilmore too, I think
it accomplished what it wanted to do. I think that whole stuff with the maxi and all that crazy stuff at the end, they didn't need to do that.
No.
They could have just gone the route of Live, where
but you can't
it's just like, these are just new guys. And I don't know. Like, honestly, man, having an operation to fix something in your back to let you the tendons.
You know, the crazy thing about that,
probably would work.
The science of how you generate club speed, bat speed, and like throwing speed, at least they got like the idea right, because it essentially it comes down to, like, say you're right-handed, it's like your front hip to your shoulder if you're a thrower, right? Like that, the amount of separation you can create. Ever watch a Aroldis Chapman pitch? The amount of separation he has when he plants his front foot to where his shoulder is insane. And it's a similar principle in your golf swing. Like, how much torque can you create off that front hip?
Right. Makes sense when you think about it.
That's what you're driving through, and it's the same thing for hitting.
But like that, all these guys have secretly got all these operations.
I don't know if you can actually do that, but at least
it was no.
I don't know.
No spoilers. Come on, this movie's been out for. We won't spoil it for you, but hey, Adam Sandler's
on Netflix.
Here, I'll give you. He's a golfer, you know.
Yeah, but I don't like
now 30 years, literally 30 years almost.
I don't like the spoiler rules.
Yeah.
If it's in the theater, I understand. If it's only available in the theater, I would do my best not to spoil. But if it's on like a streaming service that almost everybody, by verb, that almost everybody has, like, come on, like at that point, I think we can.
We didn't get until 10 o'clock last night. It's not that bad. That's not that bad.
Actually,
by the time you empty the car and all that and get the dog.
I don't like the holiday for this reason. I get an extra 40 minutes sleep, which just makes me more tired because I end up sleeping like a full cycle is I sleep 4 cycles, 6 hours. I get an extra 40 minutes and it doesn't even do anything for me. I actually feel more tired because I didn't get my normal amount of sleep. I'd have been better off just getting up at the regular time and doing a workout, I feel.
Yeah, you would.
Like the next time, that's what I'm going to do, although I don't usually work out early in the morning. Looks like Verb. I just tried to grab it here, but yeah, the spread's opening up a little bit. It might be on its way down. I don't think it's completely done if I miss a short here off of this 25, 26 area, because now that you're under 25, you can look at the all-day trend, which is at 22. So if a bounce off here, it might give a short back into the 25 area. Otherwise, an all-day trend break would be underneath 22 in the volume-weighted average price. That's the stock I'm kind of looking at. I'm still here. This is kind of like Friday in a certain regard. I'm still in Intel at like 57 up at these tops. I just have a little bit left, and I'm just bidding the bottom of the range. It hasn't filled yet. I don't think it gets back up there to get me back in again, but I'm looking at this Verb potential trade. Nothing else is, like, the market's going sideways. So if it's not a small capper or something going absolutely nuts, like I thought maybe AEO would be something this afternoon. Look at that stock, 24% upside, 50 million shares in volume, and it basically hasn't moved since we came back on, since 2 o'clock. It's just going sideways at the highs. That's great for the bulls because it means you're holding highs. But for the trade this afternoon, it's giving us absolutely nothing. Whereas Verb, yeah, sometimes you just got to hit the bid. But the spread was not very friendly when it was up at 25.
Yeah. So I just want to say quickly there, but let's just go back into some trades. It's 3:09. We've entered out. I didn't see Power Hour show up there. Maybe it did. It did. Okay.
It did.
Yeah. So right into here again.
Sometime.
We just took another bid at basically here at 94, just a little bit higher than that because it seems to be running out of a little bit of steam to the downside. We just have one small piece left now on FIG. It's a nice win, but we initially wanted that break there at 110 when we came back in on Figma, and it was just this little level right there. Written down on the note. We both liked that trade, and it came through just too quickly right off the open. The spread was probably $1 or $2. I was watching and I thought I saw 108s basically on a move down.
100%
So
it was.
I only crossed 50 cents and missed it, and then I crossed 50 cents the next time when we broke one. So we actually have a loss in here when we first started it. Neil has the same. We both have the same trade, but I was just able to get back in, and I got basically taken out.
A second chance though.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, we're right here.
No.
We could have got back in.
Yeah,
$100
you were gone when you left right away. It was right at 11 o'clock. You just left.
Yeah, I could have got back into that one right there. I don't know if I would have. I might have waited for up there because that's where VWAP was. But yeah, so there's the initial short and the initial out. So that was $2. So just to show you about risk management, right? We sit here on a prop floor. So let me just show this to you. Like, this is why we're up. Obviously, I mean, the move continued to go down. So we're up on Figma today and up pretty good. But there was the play there breaking. We got 99.50. There's the out there at 102. So that's $1.50 of a hit. That was fine for us as that came through. And then all of a sudden, once we got it again, it started just to break down. So this is where, you never want to take, up to you. If momentum changes, you want to punch out, but sometimes you got to let the trade build out. And Figma right here to the downside. There was, shout out to Kramer and shout out to a lot of traders that thought that maybe this was overpriced. Somewhere there at the top, and again, just because it was oversubscribed, created a huge price movement there to the upside as everyone scrambled to grabby shares. Palantir did make a move down, but not enough for me to buy it. I'm still here at 160.15, which is where this 200 period moving average is and where sort of that bottom lies. If it does break below that, we're going to get out. Palantir expecting 14 cents with revenues of 938. I'll see if I can find a graphic that shows sort of how Palantir's performed in the past as opposed to what we're looking at right now moving forward. But yeah, so we had Russell, we already talked about that, up 1.7% today. So that's IWM, the Russell 2000, having a good day as we get interest rate cuts apparently now in September, 88%, which that was next to nothing, or it was 30% or even lower than that on the day of the Fed. And now with that jobs report there getting lower and more pressure on Fed Chair Powell to get that all figured out. And a lot of people now think it's a push and pull type of thing where he's not going to cut rates because Trump wants him to and all that kind of stuff. But this week's calendar does have Palantir, Disney, Uber, McDonald's, like just to give a few, SMCI, lots of stock going through, and then also with movement in Ethereum, we got that with Joe. We got the moves here with Bitcoin's back up to 15,000. So we'll see if we can catch it. Next Friday's payrolls will be very, very interesting as well.
You know what else is big this week?
Friday.
MP Materials. Well, there's a few names in there that like just names that have been running. SoundHound, MP Materials, Rocket Labs, Trade Desk. So for this is not big in the way that we had the market cap, like just the market cap Wednesday and Thursday. Like that's the biggest earnings week. But in terms of like movers and shakers, like Rocket Lab has been on an absolute tear. Oh, and speaking of Rocket Labs, there's that Fly. Is it Fly? Firefly Aerospace supposed to be IPO this week. It's under $1 billion. I don't know what day this is going to be. Usually, most of the bigger IPOs tend to be on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
I was seeing Thursday.
Okay, so Thursday. And I would say that, I'm just making a number up, but it's the vast majority of the biggest IPOs or like the most exciting IPO tends to happen on a Thursday. I don't know the reason behind that, but that's just usually how it plays out. But this streak of IPOs opening and halting up, I think there's going to be an end to this that gets nasty, where everyone just assumes that it will be as easy as it was on Circle, or as easy as it was on CoreWeave, or as easy as it was on Figma. But one of these is gonna burn people. I don't know that Fly is even at that level to get that type of excitement. Like to me, it's not even like less than $1 billion. It's not an auto. Let's go buy the open trade for me like the others were. But I think one of these is gonna end badly because there's no way they keep on getting this so ridiculously wrong that it ends up halting within 30 seconds or 1 minute. Like you have to understand that's unprecedented. We've been trading over 20 years and IPOs that size don't usually do that. It's the small ones that are supposed to halt right away, not the ones that are decent size and liquidity. Like it's just not normal.
I'm gonna call it top in this AI revolution the minute OpenAI IPOs.
Ben?
I mean, we had that. We had a huge pullback down.
I think it'll happen
crypto.
before that because I don't know when they're going to even IPO.
Nor do I.
I think any chance of them coming to market's too far out because they don't need to.
I don't know. Jared, have you heard anything about OpenAI? Like, yeah.
They really don't need
Sam
to.
Altman, they still have to fix out. Don't they have to be not for profit and they have to fix like sort of their whatever they have, opus moderandi, as our guy Sharif always talks about.
There's a word.
Yeah, I don't know. We're a bunch.
No, but I know exactly what you're talking about, and they were trying to do that, and it was
not for
pushed
profit,
back.
and anyways, yeah, that was Elon was a little.
But they're so easily able to raise money that I just don't see what
Wayfair.
the need for them to be able to do.
Unemployment 4.2%. We talked about that. The jobs were not where they needed to be on Friday, so that's going to be a big problem there. Utilities at highs right now. Tech. Jeffrey's notes today that tech actually represents now 44% of the S&P 500. So we talk about sort of this movement there to Nasdaq names and to some of these tech names being included into the S&P 500 with recent names, DoorDash, things like that, Palantir. All of this gets more and more there. August to September, just for seasonality, tend to be weaker months. Right now
August
in the market coming off, Q2s and things like that, where people, summertime seems to be a little bit slower, so as numbers start to trickle through, we could see a little, okay, here we go. All right, so now Palantir is starting to get going a little bit. So I like E a lot right here for PLTR. Right back up to those levels. I think it'd be silly not to get something out right there. So there we go. We'll offer some 75s, and we just missed it. You actually saw me throw that in there. So hopefully you come back up and give us an out there. There it is. There we're right there. There it goes. So thank you right there. So another out there at recent highs anyways of 75. Here we go. Our best out for this one has been 90. Let's see if Palantir can get going here into the close. I really like that stock as well. We did buy some Pan W. I mean, I wish I would have bought some Google. I wish I would have bought a lot of things. I wish I was a little bit taller and a baller. But we try to be a little bit of a shot caller. And we took our shot on Pan W. I mean, on Cyber Art. What was the name? Cyber Arc.
Arc.
Yeah. Right there, they wind up making that deal with CyberArk and paid. I guess the market is feeling a little bit, that's not the move there, a little bit wishy-washy about that deal right there. They paid a little bit too much. So it just fell back in there. And again, with cash being king, you don't want to spend that much and dilute it with shares as well. But yeah, there's Pan W. Again, I'm buying this name. I consider it one of, that's not a great daily chart there. I'm going to get rid of it and call up a different one on eSignal. But, trying to buy best of breed all the time. And I think that cybersecurity is one thing. You can buy the Hack ETF, kind of has them all. Zscaler and CrowdStrike have been good winners for me. Sorry, I only have CrowdStrike, good winners for the space. But there's Palo Alto right now. That deal that they made with CyberArk brought them below the 200-period moving average and now dripping lower. I don't think there's anything wrong with the business. It's just they didn't like the acquisition, and they can work their way through that. So, I mean, let's just check out what Zscaler is doing. And again, most of these names do have a high. Well, I forgot to put my makeup on this afternoon. It's a little bit shinier right now. We got a lot of sun this weekend. I had the e.l.f. Cosmetic. Oh yeah, e.l.f. reports this week too, actually. I really like e.l.f. So does Dutch Bros as well this week. There's a lot of stock coming for sale there. A lot of stocks that have changing opportunities. Like e.l.f., Dutch Bros is this week. We might not be on there. It's a very low market.
Oh, it is. There is. It's one of the ones on
Wednesday. Yeah. So,
I knew it was there. I was just like, why did I?
These are different names. Okay, Palantir just broke 161. Here we go to the upside. But anyway, Zscaler, see, and nothing wrong with the business. It's just heading in downside move there. So there's ZS. We come over here as well. Andre will show that on our chart. And then so that's Zscaler there. A lot of people love this name. And then we have CrowdStrike as well. Just a pullback in the space as we start to question some of the valuation there, and their PEs are 60, 70, 80. All right, here's Palantir right now. They've got pretty much no problems right now at Palantir. I mean, government spending continues to be record highs right now. We just got that big, beautiful bill. We know that there's a lot of talk right now, global uncertainties, but there it goes right now, Palantir upside. Now it's pulling back, of course, as soon as I hit. You literally heard me hit the offer key, and then it just pounds right back down in. But we are now out. We're out of about 15 to 20% of that trade right there, and I should have had I should have been there at 161.20 for sure. I just pushed offer enter at 161.10, and for some reason it just cracked lower right there. The ES is also on a run. Sorry, the NQ is also on a run right there, up 1.74% right now. Where did that even come from?
The ES broke the high
God.
as well. It was both of them.
Like, oh yeah, they're all up huge. I was just looking to see, like, right now the ES up 1.38, Nasdaq up 174, and look at that. Oh my God, no. All right, we talked about that key number for the. We just missed it. What am I doing? Sleeping over here? We should have had here NQU. Remember I brought this up earlier on in the day, and I was like, a key level is going to be that gap fill that we had on Friday. So there's the move down. There it is right there. That is basically to the dollar there, a 23.3. That's the high of the day on the Nasdaq. Right there. It just came into that gap fill and then made a nice little move down. So you can see the high of the day here on the NQs, 23.303. So pulling back, look, I mean, I think it still gets back up there, but I'm just saying there's a nice little quick scalp opportunity if you wanted 20 handles or so. Nice move back in. I think you might want to take that. This could just be a little bit of a calming before the storm, because there it goes. Palantir now trying to get back up to the upside. I'll take it. Let's take it out right here at 94. There it goes. We take that out there at 94. Let's see if we can get a little bit higher. We are now out of 30% of this trade. 40 cents in the money for PLTR. Dare, what's good?
Yeah, speaking of Palantir, I just want to let you guys know, here are the expected moves for some of the biggest or most closely watched names reporting after the bell. We have Navitas, Mercado Libre, Axon, we have Palantir and Hims and Hers. Palantir, oddly enough, actually the second smallest expected move. Only, and I say only, we're only expecting about an 11.7% move here. Mercado Libre, smallest expected move of 8%. But Navitas and Hims and Hers Health both expecting around 16% moves. So check this out on X at TTV Research so you can kind of get a sense of what the market's expecting in terms of these movements and release times for these earnings plays. Palantir and Hims and Hers probably the most closely watched of these, but Navitas certainly has some retail investors' attention as well, NVTS. Again, check this out on X at TTV Research as we send you back to the guys.
Yeah, and look, obviously they all do. I can tell you the one that does not have a lot of retail interest, the one that's $2,400. Split Mercado Libre, Ameli. It is what it is. Like, splits don't actually mean anything, but when you're $2,400, it means nobody trades you. I can tell you that much. Amazon, when it was that price, got traded, I'd say, in the history when it was over $2,000, 3 times on the floor.
No, not.
No, it was 3.
I mean, same thing with NVIDIA, right?
I was one of them. I know the other guy that was twice had the most epic keystroke error of all time. And we always say, if you make a keystroke error, get out right away. He was in a situation where he didn't have the choice.
Spread might have been.
No, it was.
Oh, it was instantly shut down.
No, it was that people were doing earnings. And so he was doing an earnings. Think about over $2,000. I'll get to Verb in a second. Over $2,000 stock on Amazon earnings and the punch in on the number. And the only saving, he keystroked it and took too many shares on a $2,000 stock. And the saving grace was it was just right. It was in the right direction. So like basically just getting out right away was just a huge winner. It was an accidental win. But at the same time, had it been a $200 stock, that same keystroke error would have made money, but it wouldn't have ruined his life if he had lost. That's my point. If it had been a $200 stock, it wouldn't have ruined it. But if on a $2,000 stock, by the time you're even
especially
trying to get
hours,
out, after hours, liquidity
is not there.
Forget about it. I think it makes all these stocks, the splits just make a lot of sense. When you're going to 24-hour markets, this is another thing, Netflix or anyone that gets too expensive. When you go to 24-hour markets, you want people to be interested in your stock. So splits, I think, become more important. Like everything, like trading volume is going to go up, options, all that kind of stuff. So you're going to want to make sure you're in the game. And we do know we're going to 23.5. 40 and slip, 4-hour work week now. 23.5 is what I meant to say. Sometime next year is the expectation. And when that happens, it's going to be, look, we're going to make some changes here. It's going to be great for names like Robinhood. It's going to be great for names like Webull. Certainly that's why I think investing in them makes a heck of a lot of sense. But, you know, I don't own any Robinhood when I say that. I do own Coinbase. I own some Webull. I wish I owned Robinhood. But I wanted to quickly talk about Verb. So here was the plan on Verb, and here's what actually happened. Whoops. The plan was that it was going to break the all-day trend, which you can see has not happened. And then when it didn't break the all-day trend, this was the new, whoops, that's not right. Let me just get rid of that. This was the new trend line that got put in when it made the high. It broke that, I took the short. There was a forever buyer at 24, so I got out. When it reclaimed the 24 level, the forever buyer was there and it bounced again. Then it broke the 24, I said, let me look for the short underneath that buyer. It held under 24, I shorted like 90 or something like that, maybe 91 with a 50-cent stop. But the play was to the all-day trend. This has held the same trend line from the open till now on Verb. So until that breaks, you're scalping that range. Ideally, you could somehow magically have the 30 top, but that never offered an entry to me. So that's a scalp trade that we're able to get. So that's what we take. And it still doesn't want to break this all-day trend on Verb. So if that's all you can grab is just, it's a 1% move on a stock, or sorry, 10% move on a stock, which is a 150% day. But I have to look at it like I got an entry with a 50-cent risk that you could take a $1.50 to $2 move on. And that's all you're able to grab there on this bad boy. Still a relatively strong stock on the day. And I wouldn't necessarily write it completely off for the rest of this session, but it really needs to lose 22 for the shorts to work out.
All right, I'm going to take a little bit more. Palantir's back into the 40s again, so we were just able to get some out there. But I mean, look at what this looks like today. You know, it's a huge day. I mean, you have energy down, XOM, CVX are on the downside right there, as we had that news from India and oil and all that. So we'll get that all figured out. But right now, downside on XOM. Randy will be here tomorrow. We'll get his take on XOM. He's really looked at that stock and had a couple of important things to say about it. So we'll get his opinion there tomorrow. And then the only thing that obviously stands out to me, and we've already done a pretty decent job, I feel like, covering it. There's Amazon right now down 1.02% as their earnings call was not great there. You know, Bezos was selling more shares, and then AWS, not a great number. Prime, although okay, there's so much more competition now. I mean, Walmart has something similar to Amazon Prime, and many other companies out there extending sale days once Prime is there. So it's kind of like just matching it. And there's, I mean, I think the customer loyalty behind Amazon is huge. Like, I know my wife, we actually talked about this on the way home last night, is that, you know, she's never going to change. She doesn't like the Walmart app as much, and just Best Buy.
Use Walmart?
No, we never use Walmart. But again, I think it's still just as good. I just think that right now, sometimes when you're intertwined with something, it's hard to get away from it. But anyways, I do like Amazon coming through there. But if you look in the financials today, you know, everything is Greensville. Like literally, like every stock in here. JP Morgan with a nice day there, 1.59% as they try to take over Apple's credit card business. But Berkshire, again, we talked about the write-down in Kraft Heinz, almost $4 billion of a loss in that as they write that stock off a little bit. But KKR, some of the insurance plays as well. Goldman Sachs, I mean, BlackRock has been an absolute monster. That's a great stock, BLK. There it is. Up. You want to talk about a split candidate, $1,200 for BlackRock. That could be something there. I don't know if that creates us more trading opportunities, but the banks continue to work well, including all major credit card names as well. And then just coming back into the tech space there today, if we go over to tech services, these are services, so they're not all going to be there, but there's Adobe. We saw Figma and some of that to the downside, so Adobe downside as well. And then, like I said, man, I think you could pick up some Palo Alto on weakness, and it just continues to get weaker. So they don't like that deal at all. The market there for CyberArk, CYBR is who they just took down. I'm going to integrate them into their platform, and I think they do better. It's nice to see Netflix making a little bit of a move now, off $1,200. We can see if that does anything there. Its recent high, nice little move to the downside. I agree. I think content is obviously going to continue to be king, but as you watch Netflix, you got to be careful because, you know, a lower sub number, a lower ad number, that's all this stock moves on. So, you know, it's been a nice little move downside here for Netflix over the last little while. Same as Costco. I don't understand what's really going on with Costco, other than their PE is around 50 or so for Costco, and they've been really beat up. So I feel like I might have, I don't know. I don't want to buy more Berkshire down here, but I think buying Costco, oh no, it had a little bit of a bump up. I think that could be a good.
Well, if the labor market's getting,
be a good opportunity there. Yeah, but if people lose their jobs, I mean, are they?
Well, maybe that's why Firm is up today. It's always interesting, the logic behind what you think should happen with a firm with labor market weakness. It's like, okay, well, do more people need buy now, pay later, or more people
They're just competition.
defaulting. Like I think it's because I was trying to come up with
Figma.
something on a firm, and there's just like it's ups, and it's so ridiculously strong today for it to just be pure social media stuff and nothing fundamental behind it. 12% on essentially and effectively nothing. Outside of people talking about it on social media.
We have Klarna IPO, I don't know when that's coming.
Well, that's, like that's, I feel like that's another one of those names. Like if a firm continues this rally, let's just imagine a world in which which is not that difficult to imagine because it's pretty close. A firm continues this rally, gets to its highs, and Klarna comes, IPOs this year, and you're at highs. I would think it's easier to call that a top than it is for AI, because I think there's a much larger and ever expanding pie when it comes to AI relative to.
We haven't had a firm earnings yet. I do not believe either.
I do not think so. Well, that's the other thing. Like you're running. So many stocks are getting to their top before they report. So this could just be a continuation of that. You're buying, it's getting bought into earnings, and maybe you're waiting till after earnings to do a little bit of a dump. For anyone looking at that verb, it looks like it's taking out this trend break. But I came up with a rule that stopped me from taking trend breaks that were directly above VWAP, and this was something that I remember I was having this conversation with Obi. Like you can love an all-day trend break, but if it's doing so right at the volume-weighted average price, you almost want some kind of confirmation underneath VWAP. Like that's way too tight. Yep, it's breaking the day-long trend, but it also just bounced off VWAP within $1 range. So I think the short into the trend was the way to go, and then we'll just see if there's anything else after that. A couple people saying Apple wants lower. Wild, man. Apple breaking low of the day. I bet you Amazon's doing it too while the market's at the high. Amazon at the lows. Apple breaking low of the day. It's unfortunate, but it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad. It's just like we said for Amazon. It wasn't as if the quarter was that bad, but they're just getting punished for not being part of this AI train. For being, again, devices are just never going to have the margins. Software will never have the margins that hardware does, or so the other way around. I mean, software margins are obviously fantastic. And that's been true. That's why Microsoft has always done so well relative to others. That's why Microsoft is the only company in the top 10 in market cap that 20 years ago was also in the top 10 in market cap. It's really difficult for a hardware company to pull that off. And if it's even happened through multiple market cycles, whether selling the physical hardware, you can maintain being a top 10 market cap company. I'd imagine that's very difficult to do if it's even been pulled off.
So many trends change.
Yeah, maybe it's never happened. I don't know. I can't think of somebody that's done it.
Ask AI. Yeah, so look, man, I mean, what's up with this? 413 likes? Like, what's up with that? Hit the like. We have 5,600 of you watching. We want to thank all of you for watching, first of all. Right now, I mean, become a subscriber, get into the chat, get involved with us here at Trader TV Live. You got to do that just by hitting subscribe. That's it. Subscribe. I didn't hit it? Oh, there we go. I did hit it. Okay. So you don't have to become, just hit the bell, hit the like button, get going on that one. We do have a membership that's here for $5 a month if you wanted to do that, to help support the channel. We do have a big rebuild happening behind us right now. Shout out to Studio 8 as we get ready to just absolutely, hopefully, change. Not hopefully, we are changing for the better. Completely different format, and it should be a great show moving forward here at Trader TV Live. More of all of us together, I think, is what we're trying to think about right there. But you know what? I mean, I love you, Figma, man. Big shout out to that short right now. $10 now in the money on Figma. I mean, it doesn't take many shares to be able to make a little bit of money on a move like this. So there goes Figma right down into $91 and an absolute crazy short, down 25% right now today. And again, it's not like it's a fluke. We wanted 110 break. We took the 100 break. We let it go against us. We got stopped out. We bought it, but we sold it back in. We had a lot of volume early on that. Then a lot of volume at this low of 93, which is why we took out a couple pieces there, thinking that maybe there was some interest down there, but into the close. I mean, see you later. Who's going to support this thing right now? Not I, and apparently not many.
Apparently none of the Fortune 500 companies that account as clients want to support the bid on Figma. It was like 95% of the Fortune 500
Yeah, they're not going to get in there and buy this stock.
But no, that's not how it works.
So we just bought some more Palantir down here a couple times at the, basically right there at 45, just thinking that this level may be good. And this is just what I do, man. I mean, I don't know if it's going to work or not. Bought some there, bought some at the 200 period, and then we always want to protect that 160. So we'll get stopped out if this comes in. We're going to give back here. We don't even have a unit. We have half of a unit right now. Like we had 4 units on our Apple trade this morning. So right now for Palantir, we're just trying to come back in just to see what this wants to do here heading into earnings. If we break below this level of 160, we can get out. So that's what we're going to do and just sort of brush it off a little bit there. I mean, it'll be a losing trade because we didn't get out of enough up here. But we did wind up, we got out of about 30 to 40% of what we had on that. Now we're averaged in. So giving us an average price right now, ho-hum, cry over spilled milk. We're out right now 14 cents on this trade. So let's just see what happens. We could definitely afford to lose 40 or 50 cents here on Palantir, but trying to hold out for an upside play now on PLTR. Maybe we'll get something out if it comes back to 50. That's where the 50 period moving average is. But again, I like the stock heading into earnings. I still think there's a runway for them to go higher, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do disappoint as well. It's so tough to sit here and call something. I mean, Google was a great number and it fell the next day. Pretty good, right? I mean, Tesla was a pretty bad number and it didn't fall as much. It fell 7 or 8%, but then battled back the very next day again. So
Robinhood.
that cat came back the very next day. Yeah, Robinhood's another great example of that. Palantir, now we're in the money all of a sudden on Palantir. So yeah, great idea. But let's just wait to see where it goes from here. Palantir. Oh, there. Did we get that? No, we didn't. There we go. Now we get it. So we get our 49. So there we go. We'll take 15, 16 cents. Now we'll see if this thing can fly into the close. And we don't get the imbalances on this yet, of course, because they're going to come at 350. We'll check that out after we get back from Neil.
Well, one place you can check the imbalances, for those of you that don't have access, might be an e-signal. And for the first month, at least, you can get it free. That's right. Trade smarter, not harder, everybody. Get an elite trading experience with reliable market data, customizable charts, the ability to link up with multiple brokers. You can automate your trades with the API, and you can do hot lists like we do to see what's moving. You can use many indicators out there so you can back test your strategies. You can forward test them out there if you want and do a little paper trading, whatever floats your boat. Do it for 1 month free. And if you like it, you keep it. It's an entitlement-based system as well over there at eSignal. And I can tell you, you can see, so scan the QR code, everybody. And I know they have access to the imbalance locator. You can be able to see imbalance data, which, as Sean mentioned, we'll get in about 12 or 13 minutes or so. There's just a couple of notable ones for the early look. For whatever reason, T's a buy 5 million and CLF Cliffs is 1.9 million to the sell side. A bunch of other not typically interesting names. Nike stands out as a small buy of 800,000, but the early look not huge. I just saw SMR there for 600,000 to sell. That's not a chump change number for SMR on a regular type day. That could be worth watching, but at 350, it's, anytime you have a Monday, it's early in the new month, it's earnings season, you can get these surprises, but we aren't expecting anything large on the imbalances. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit quiet. Still eyeballing. I mean, Verb just lost. See, of course I said I make up a rule where I don't take an all-day trend break if it's above the volume-weighted average price. And of course, that naturally means that it's going to be clean this time. But I can tell you that I've seen multiple times where that ends up not being as high a probability of a trade as a normal all-day trend break would go. So again, my reason for getting out 24, 22 was because of the all-day trend, and then not taking it here was because the VWAP was there. And I've just observed it's not always a good thing, but Verb is starting to give it back. This might go into a, well, that's 15%. That was pretty quick. I guess it didn't get close enough to the Halt band.
I would love to have Halt bands on these charts.
Yeah, that would be one thing. We've put requests in because I can tell you, being able to visually see the moving Halt band would be a cool feature to have, because sometimes I'm pretty convinced that I'm observing a bounce off the Halt band, but I don't know for a fact that that's the case. And maybe it's like a self-fulfilling thing. If everybody could see it, then it might not be as useful. So you'd almost want to build your own internally, I guess, algo group. They should talk to one of those guys.
Pretty easy to do.
No, you think it would be pretty easy to do. They used to have liquidity, what was it called? The
Bands.
LR, the liquidity replenishment points.
Right.
And so if memory serves, I might be butchering exactly what these were years back, but it essentially was, there were levels on certain US stocks where if it reached a certain point, market makers were sort of, I think it was kind of obligated to put liquidity back in. And you used to be able to see them for a brief period on the charts, and that was useful, but I think they realized that that's kind of giving too much away maybe, and that's why they got rid of it. But yeah, the halt bands would be cool, because I'm pretty convinced we just bounced off a halt band on Verb. And that's the only reason it caught a bid at $19. But that's just a guess. It would be cool to have. And if anyone does have access to the halt bands, let me know.
I bet I'm gonna search through eSignal, because I would think that they would be able to, you'd be able to put up halt bands on eSignal. I would think that would make sense.
You know what,
I'm pretty sure that if we search through their FAQ or sort of, they actually have a great knowledge base.
No, they do. Like
thing. You know, there's someone's created the script. So the thing about eSignal is you can find scripts out there and then just put them in. And most of them,
someone might have already built
free,
it, and you could
sure. All right, let me get out of another piece here at 48 on Palantir. I don't know, man. Heading into this, so what we were talking. So we just took another piece out there. Oh no, we didn't get filled. Maybe we will now. Using ARCA now. But this is what these imbalances look like, and right now they're only New York names, right? And so those start to be populated at 350. So if anybody wanted to buy some Palantir before market close, like millions of shares or something like that, and they put a buy order in right now, they're not going to get the greatest of prices because they're going to wipe these levels out, and they're not going to get all of the shares that they potentially wanted to. So to get a fair price in the market, they'll advertise what they're looking for. Like right now, someone wants 5.2 million in AT&T shares, so we can just click on that. It's not moving around. This is a little bit different. You could probably get 5 million shares here, but look, so far today it's only done 14 million. So if someone comes in, let's just say it's a hedge fund or I don't know, there's no activism on AT&T right now, but 5 million shares needs to get bought. So someone's come in and said, all right, well, we're actually looking to sell some as well today, so we'll pair that off. You know, it's gonna be probably better fee-based than them going into the open market. I don't know what it's like for these big, huge block orders, but they're gonna try to make a limited impact. So like if the market was gonna close right now, then this order would probably go off at 69. So they would just match, you know, this 5 million, I mean, it's going to get paired off, but it would just go at 6. So both traders, the buyers and the sellers, would wind up getting the same price with obvious limited impact. So that is what the purpose of these imbalances are. And just to disclose what you're looking for and give limited market impact. So we'll see if Palantir, okay, here we go. Nice little move higher now for PLTR. Let's go, baby. We'll see if this can come back in. So we've just been buying this into the close. Let's see if it works. We're not going to be holding this after hours. That report could come out immediately at 4 o'clock. We don't really know what to expect here for PLTR, but if it does come out, then we'll be flat anyways. We'll probably be flat heading into this imbalance. Let's just see this run up right now for PLTR. Nice little 20, 30 cent winner here into the close. Figma's not stopping, so that's another trade that we have on board right now, down at its lows of the day. $11 just in the money now for Figma, so that's starting to work out for us. I'm gonna take another piece right now for Palantir because I'm talking myself out of this. There we go, we get a 60 because we're into the imbalances. So when those come out, basically all bets are off. So we'll put another offer there in the 70s, and then we'll see if we can get back into the 90s and so on and so forth, and get back near that 161 all-time high, intraday high for PLTR. So far so good there. Really glad that you guys were able to watch me get into that, average into it, use support rate here as an area to buy, use the 200 period as an area to buy, and now see Palantir back there to the upside. But as Neil and I know, and you guys do too if you're active traders, these lines are just lines. Like at the end of the day, someone has to come in and buy this. The momentum has to be there. And we've just been pretty hot fire with some of these calls lately. Figma's still going lower. Palantir's still going higher. We like it. The big trade of the day for me was just Apple right away, right off the jump. Boom. We got that going. So it's a little sad that it's all the way back down right now for Apple and for Apple shareholders. But that's why you want to get out when you make some of these moves. My best outs on Apple today, almost near 208. 207.75, 208, 207.70. So good plays there for Apple. Here, come on, Palantir, let's go. We're in the 70s right now. See if we can get some more out for PLTR.
Yeah, exactly. And for those asking, what's the announcement that we're waiting for?
What announcement?
It's just earnings.
Oh,
which is the catalyst to the market when we're not getting labor data, apparently. 405 and HIMS we're expecting. HIMS actually just lost a bit a little bit. We're expecting them to report, I forget the time specifically for Hims and Hers Health.
Dare has it written down at 4.
Oh, it is. It says 4 or 5 for them as well. So it's Mercado Libre that they report exactly at 4. But all of the bigger names that report are all right after the bell, at or right after the closing bell. So 4 or 4 or 5 there. And you're not the first person to ask this. I cannot pronounce this name in the chat. So we've got a lot of questions. Good luck if you can pronounce that one.
AKCJE?
Yeah, AKCJES, it doesn't really matter. Any reason for a firm surge today? We were just guessing a little bit. I mean, I was just guessing. I know Dara had mentioned that there was some social media chatter and some options volume, increased options volume, which can be the catalyst. Look, that could be easily the reason why a firm's up. It could just be that. Maybe it has some weird twisted thing to do with the labor market. I don't know that would be the case. Could it be an interest rate thing? Sure, you could speculate as to all of that. But for all of those explanations, why wasn't it then stronger on Friday? Would have been that's where I would sort of lean with. Okay, well, why is it only breaking out today? It did a recovery when everything else recovered on Friday, but why is it only breaking out now if this had to do with the Friday's news? So it could just be a rally in earnings. It has a decent short float, so anytime it starts to go, it could also just be technical. But at the end of the day, there's no specific news story here with a firm. And it's like, if it were to do, I've had it up all day long. I've been waiting for this. If there's no news and you do a trend like this, I've been waiting for it to trend break. But when has it broken the trend? There was one tiny trend break here at $70 that you could have taken 50 cents on. Since that, it's just been linear to the upside. Every time it establishes the trend, it's really holding on to it really well. It'll slightly break and then just hold on to it at the top. It's hugging. It's almost like a line of best fit. It's a very linear move, which suggests all of the majority of the action is just almost like program buying and nothing out of control. So one to watch tomorrow just because of what it did today and no specific story whatsoever. Oh, I'm going to lament that verb. Yeah, this one ended up being a good all-day trend break if you took it because it gave it to you at 20. You would have had it here. There's your trend break. Let me zoom in so you can see it better. This is it breaking the all-day trend. It does this little wick here, retesting the trend high, and then closing here, so you're trying to get it around here at 22-ish, and then it just plops $3. That's better than the 24 release to 22. But I think Verb, I'm coming in tomorrow leaning short in this stock. I think that's my approach on day 2 of all of the treasury plays. If you are a crypto or token, whatever it is, and you go ham day 1, and there's any sign of weakness at the end of the day, then I would come in the next day looking for a continuation because I feel like the sustainability of holding these ridiculous moves just because you do an offering and you're going into some type of token treasury, they're not going to work multiple days forever. And once you start to see weakness in this theme, you're going to want to pounce on it as a short seller.
All right, so just into earnings today, we do have we just been talking about this expected move here of 16.7%. They are tanked. Yeah, I know, just dumps. That's why I wanted to show everybody is making that move down. So is Palantir. I mean, we were good enough to get some out on the top side there as we have half of our position left heading into these imbalances that are coming at 350. So we'll wait for that. Let's just have a quick look on Elon and company here to see what Tesla's doing. Again, a big day for Tesla as Elon Musk gets those 96 million shares. Wow, right there, not bad. At all. And yeah, we saw a bunch of Teslas at supercharging stations as we made our trip across the 401 over the weekend, and a lot of Teslas on highways, and obviously very, very popular vehicle. But we're talking about robotics now and AI as we move forward. We talked about Optimus now being available for pre-sale. For small $23,000, you get the 8-hour version. They're lasting for 8 hours and doing simple household chores. Yeah. 23 grand for Optimus. I feel like that's very reasonable.
But we don't know when. That's the thing. I was trying to find. I tried to find some kind of a date as to when they might expect, but there's I couldn't find anything remotely suggesting when that would be available. So it's like. Okay.
So we'll wait. Okay, now we only have 40 seconds until these imbalances. I'm actually going to right now just go nope, not go like that, go like this. No, what am I doing? No, I want to get the source. So I have to just actually, because right now we're just sort of just, these are the brokers, so these are the early looks. So I'm actually going to now just activate, we have a filter here where I'll just activate that for source and only now show me the Nasdaq and NYSE. So these are all from 9:30, but in just now 15 seconds, we will get an update here. So I'm actually gonna go over, let's have a quick look at Palantir to see what winds up happening. Remember, our stop is breaking through 160. So if this is a huge sell order, it will probably get activated there, but let's just see what happens with Palantir. There it is, 160.40. All right, so looks like it might be a nothing burger there. It looks like the Ethereum ETF does catch a bid. Apple catching, there it is, there goes Apple bid right there, 1 million shares ago. NVIDIA catching a 1 million share sell, but it's done 114 million shares, so that's not a big deal there.
AMC.
Yeah, the Ethereum there, AMC, oh yeah, okay, 1.25 million. Wow, that's only a $2 stock. That's been really diluted a lot as well. So that's downside play. Open door, 640 to buy, so that's into there as well. All right, let's, I don't really see Palantir on here, and if it's on here, it's not, oh, there's Amazon with a bid. It's probably doing not, well, actually, I shouldn't say that. It's made a nice little move higher there, but not a big amount of shares for Amazon. If Amazon gets slipped up tomorrow, you're gonna see, like, you break this 200 period, it's not gonna be good, man. Back underneath here, Amazon maybe has a 200 handle on board very, very soon. So we'll see, and if it does, I'm
Quick guess.
buying that. There's Palantir.
How much did you think AMC moved on that 1.2 million buy and balance?
Nothing.
You would be correct.
Yeah, I didn't. That doesn't seem like
You would be correct. No, the problem with that is, like, remember,
I'm getting more of Palantir out.
1.2 million shares on a $3 stock or 288 stock. It's not a lot of dollar value. Right. Like, it's just the notion.
Oh yeah, that's right. $3 stock. Yeah.
The notional value is not.
How much volume did it do on the day?
It's only done 7 million on the day. How the mighty have fallen. I remember when this stock would do 7 million shares at the open. And now look at you. Yeah, it's a
Now
shame.
look at you.
No, it's actually after the bell tonight.
Ebbs and flows of the market.
Yeah, what was a squeeze play before is not a squeeze play now. Like, squeeze play now, go look at Carvana's chart. While people have been waiting around for GameStop and AMC to do something, it's like, well, if that's your game, you should have been in Carvana for the last couple of years. Or you could make an argument about Hims and Hers. You could make an argument. We're just talking about a firm. Lemonade reports tomorrow. Their short float's over 30%. Like, that's a stock that has a lot of squeeze, pun not intended, potential. Yeah, that's oh goodness, they're going to be, if this one does go to the upside, we'll have some puns for it, for sure. What is dead shall never die. Your Huckleberry TV.
Huckleberry TV.
You know what?
That's good.
It's not dead. You're exactly right. AMC is not completely dead. That does mean there's always a chance that it could bounce. But if you're looking to catch like a squeeze, the best you can do is lucid this thing. Observe the low and then scalp trade off of the low. Because the spikes have been few and far between in this. Like, there have been spikes, but few and far between. Looks like you get one a year for the last little bit. You got two in 2022, you got one in 2023, you got one last year. So at some point, maybe you get one more and you risk for that. But like I said, you could lucid this stock, meaning, and there's lucid is just
terminology.
No, but lucid is the cleanest example of this. That's why I bring it up, where it just shows you, hey, look at that. You can buy it off $2, $2, $2, $2. And if you just do that, you get some excitement, 50% moves, a couple of times, maybe a little bit more than that. You almost double it up. It goes to 350 a few times in there, and you could pull that off 3 times. But waiting for it to home run, well, that's been a losing strategy, everybody. And Farm Trader,
there we go.
I don't need to get into Beanie. We don't need to talk about that stock. It's useless.
Nice move. Nice move higher right here for Palantir. So we're really happy about this play. Again, man, hit the sirens right there for PLTR. We don't have a losing trade today. We have Apple. Well, we have losing trade, but not a losing symbol. We have Apple here was pretty huge for us today. Figma. I mean, come on, man. Figma has been absolutely fantastic. As there it is now. Figma now breaking through 90. Looks like there to end the day. A big call there for Figma. And if you're trying to make calls like this as well, or maybe you're already with these guys, you can take Trade the Pool. And now Trade the Pool has created something special just for you. A free ebook right now, featuring okay, I gotta maybe download this, featuring four proven swing trading strategies from Trade the Pool's top funded traders. Inside, you'll see exactly how they approach, this might be good, how you approach the markets, how they manage risk, and what setups they rely on, so you can learn and grow from what actually works. I think that's important for sure. Download it now by scanning the QR code right there on your screen, or please check the link in our description for more information from our friends at Trade the Pool, a free ebook now, right there. The swing code, Neil. Definitely go. Neil, I think Neil's downloading it right now. And
well, I mean,
checking
why
it.
not?
Might as well have a look at it. Yeah, why not?
Well, remember earlier I was scanning.
See what is popping off?
I always make sure that that those QR codes just work when we put them on.
Whoa. So we just got
355 just hit.
Yeah. So basically, I just punched out at Palantir right there at 160.20 for flat. It's a good thing we got out. We actually wound up, we didn't have that many shares left as Palantir came right back to the upside. So a well-traded stock, nicely positive for me today. Palantir, Figma, Apple, 3 for 3 there today, and it's glad to be back, glad to be doing this with everybody one more time today, and we're back tomorrow. We're back every single day, except for Friday again when I have it off. All right, so right here, $90.05, we'll bid. There it is, yes, sir. That's that. Close the damn door on that trade right now. That is a $12 winner to end of the day on Figma, so we're pretty happy with that, needless to say, with only 4 minutes left.
Yeah, at 55, NVIDIA, whatever it was before, came to a 1 million buy, but pretty much anything that was there, it looks like it flipped or paired off. But there weren't gigantic imbalances to begin with. ETH paired off almost half, actually more than half as well. And for Matsuo in the chat, we're expecting 405 for HIMS, we're expecting 405 for Palantir, Mercado Libre and VTS are both at 4. So it's popping off right away. Like, this is not a wait for Zuckerberg moment until whatever the heck. I remember we were expecting them like one day, it was like, I think we were like 410 or 415, and we're sitting there at like 430, and Meta still hadn't reported. By the way, Meta, gorgeous.
Yeah,
Meta,
we're traced back up.
Meta's almost back to the all-time high. So, you can shoot it, but you can't kill it. That's for sure. So after it pulled back, you spent some time pulling back on Friday, but we're right back to retesting those highs. Gaps up on earnings, didn't do much today after consolidating, and then we had that, they call it like a mini flush on Friday, but you're right back at it here with Meta. That's an example of what you wanted to see out of the likes of Amazon and Apple, but unfortunately, the Mag 7's all broken up now. They're not a group. It just isn't. Like right now, you got to give a name for Microsoft, Meta, and NVIDIA. Because
we didn't even look at NVIDIA.
But NVIDIA all you need to know is at the highs. That's all you need to know.
Look at the Nasdaq's up 2%.
NVIDIA's up 3.5%, it's at the highs. Meta is chilling, up 3.5% at the highs. Amazon, at the low of the day, down 1%. Apple actually bounced here. Well, Apple made a really big bounce like right here at the end. So it's actually green. So that's just the effect I was going for when Apple just turned green again, although look at the chart. So MMN, whatever you want to say, or some other acronym, that's what it's all about here. So either you got to get with the program. At some point, I think there's going to be a good value in a buy in Apple. As far as Amazon goes, I think I'm actually probably going to buy it off that 200 period moving average. If not, probably sometime tomorrow morning, or maybe I just do it at the desk, see what we get. It seems like a good value. I don't think the quarter wasn't all bad. It was just one bad number, and everyone gets bent out of shape because you.
What day did they report? They reported on.
They were the Thursday night.
Thursday. So I still like the 3-day rule. So
that would give you tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like I usually would wait till tomorrow, and that's
you got $5. We got to go to the desk, but Uber long. You have any opinions? It was to you.
Oh,
we could talk about it tomorrow. It's fine.
You know what? Ask me. I'll let you know at the desk.
Yeah, okay,
I have some thoughts about Uber, but I only have 1 minute, and I got to go set up.
Stay tuned for our after show, getting ready to go right now with only a minute left in this market. Palantir really did regain some strength there into the close, up now to 160.75. These guys are coming after hours right now. Do not leave your desk. Stay here right now. We've got some big trades coming through on Palantir at the end of the day. We've got HIMS coming out with earnings as well. These are the two big names that there's going to be a lot of eyes on. So stay tuned for that. Very excited to bring you everything involved here with these closing trades. So now with only 45 seconds left, it's HIMS, it's Palantir. We just talked about Apple trying to go 203, nice move there. We had NVIDIA on a nice little bump there at the end of the day. Wow, 180 now for NVDA, near all-time highs of 183. That's kicking out right now. It's going to be a good one. We're super excited to give them all to you here at the end. Look what the Nasdaq is doing also, guys, here at the end of the day, up 1.81%. The ES also up 1.46%. What's gold doing today? Just quickly, gold is up, I believe, 0.5% there as well. So Palantir cometh right now. The countdown is now on with less than 10 seconds before we get monster numbers. Hi, Adair. Hope you're doing well. With only now 4. I'm a little bit late. 3, 2, and 1. And there we go. The market is now closed. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a huge day for us here. This closing show is brought to you by Global X and Beta Pro. Scan that QR code to go check it out right now. Adair is going to go get some more water. Let me know when Neil is ready to go, because when that happens, then we're going to throw it over, because here's Palantir. I have it up. It does not look like there's any numbers going through out right now. Ciao for me, man. Thank you to everybody for watching. It's been a good one. Hit the like and subscribe. Over to my man at the desk. It's Neil, Palantir and Hims and Hers. See you tomorrow. Ciao.
Thank you very much, Sean. It's your market recap brought to you by Beta Pro, by Global X. And obviously the biggest name reporting tonight is Palantir. Made another all-time high. We're expecting them at 405. 12% implied move, which is more or less exactly what it did last time. That's a big one. Of course, we were expecting HIMS as well at 405. But the other big baddie is the stock that should be splitting. I say it over and over again. Look, $2,400 is ridiculous. No one's going to trade it. No one's going to touch it. Melly, I don't even see the numbers. I also don't see it moving around too much. It's pretty much exactly where they close. So not really much going on when it comes to Melly. NVTS, we're expecting them to also report. Navitas, slight movement, but not a heck of a lot. This is sometimes popular in on the social media circles. I know it has a chance to go squeezing, but the big story is, can Alex Karp do it again? He's been doing it for a while. He's been doing it and doing it and doing it well. Although I don't think he represents Queens, nor was he raised in Brooklyn as far as I'm concerned. But either way, the stock is at their all-time high here today. Shout out to LL Cool J, but no earnings just yet.
I just realized I don't even know where he's from, which is pretty wild, but we can maybe look that up later. Yeah, guys, Palantir is definitely the biggest earnings names we're looking for. The only one I'm seeing come through on my X is LSCC, Lattice Semiconductor. Q2 revenue here in line with estimates. They reported $124 million versus $123.6 million expected, basically in line. They also posted in line adjusted earnings per share. Q3 revenue, they're guiding 128 to 138 million, not seeing how that compares to estimates, guiding gross margins roughly. I'm not going to read this gross margin number yet because I don't want to misread it here. But LSCC, it is worth noting, basically in line for both EPS and revenue. Now, we always say, it's, you kind of want to either a beat or a win, but the in line is never good either. Which one?
Vertex is tanking.
VRTX, I didn't even see. It's funny, I saw them reporting on some things and not on everything. I do have the numbers though, so we'll go over that. VRTX. They reported Q2 adjusted earnings of $4.52 per share, above estimates of $4.29 per share. That's a beat. Sales, another beat, 2.965 bill versus 2.901 bill expected. For the record, this is a pretty violent stock. I have intraday traded this one before, and it does give you a little bit of trouble, but I mean, that's kind of par for the course for some of these spready names. The guidance is the issue.
It's slightly below the midpoint. Like, it's just...
Well, I think it's at the low...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So
they guided 11.85 billion to 12, which the midpoint to that would be 11.92.5, and the estimate was 11.93.6. Mm-hmm. So it's like the guidance expectation 193.6, the midpoint was like very, very slightly lower than that, and you're getting punished to the tune of 8%.
Diamondback is falling too.
That's the problem with these, like the slightest weakness in these pharma names, and you get absolutely punked. These Diamondback Energy moving to the downside as well. We know we'll get Palantir in a couple of minutes, but we are getting some movers here, and NVTS did also move. They're now tanking as well. So NVTS it was double digits at one point. Navitas was down almost over 10%. Now down 12, and right back into these lows. It broke $7 briefly, $8 stock in here. So far, not so good on earnings.
Yeah, I have, I'll go over, I can't really show any charts right now. We're just waiting for Michael Noss to come in on the Zoom, so I'm prepping the Zoom. But Navitas, I can go over those numbers. I also have Diamondback Energy. So Navitas reported adjusted losses of 5 cents per share in line with estimates. Sales, though, were a beat, 14.49 mil versus 14.376 mil expected. I also have here Axon Enterprises, 2.12 for adjusted earnings versus 1.46 expected. That's a beat. Sales, a hefty beat as well. 669 mil versus 641.24 mil expected. So it's a double beat for Axon. I had, where was Fang? I had Diamondback as well. Diamondback Energy, adjusted earnings of $2.67 per share, missing estimates of $2.92. Wow. Sales, $3.678 billion. Did we get Palantir?
They're out.
Okay.
It's already moving. I can tell you right now. It just broke the 170. We don't have the numbers right away, but it doesn't matter. It's absolutely flying. So for one win to rule them all, pretty much everything else to the downside that's reporting tonight. And Palantir and Alex Karp singing praises up here. Again, if you have the numbers here, clearly they like them.
I do. I just got them.
What do we have?
So, earnings of 16 cents per share, beating estimates of, they're saying 12 cents. I was saying 14. Either way, it's a beat. Revenue, $1 billion versus estimates of 9.39 million expected. So that is looks like a double beat here for PLTR. Navitas Semiconductor guidance, really quickly, Neil, was gross 9.5 mil to 10.5 mil for Q3 versus 15.65 mil expected. That is not even close to near what the estimates were. If I see anything more on Palantir, like, for example, guidance, I will let you know. Also, Fed's Daily saying that she was comfortable with the Fed's July decision, but she's less comfortable making that same decision again and again. So that suggests at some point she is open to a cut.
Yeah, it looks like it got to, we didn't get to that 12 expected percent on Palantir. Like, that would have given you, what are we talking here, like 19? So like 179 would have been the spot, I guess, what you're looking for a resistance, the implied resistance anyways. Got to 172, pulled right back in here and bounced off 160. So buyers right where we started at 160-ish, the prior all-time high, and then getting an $11 movement right back and reversing. We do have HIMS, unfortunately, like you said, Palantir won long to rule them all tonight because it seems like everything else that has reported has tanked. HIMS is down $10, 13%, and continuing to fall here. The stock was at some recent highs, but unless you're PLTR, I'm not really seeing anything that's going upside on earnings tonight.
Yeah, Palantir Q3 guidance above estimates 1.083 bill to 1.087 bill versus 981.095 million expected. So that is a hefty little beat for guidance. Hims and hers, no beat to be seen here. Sales, $544.83 million versus $549.827 million expected. To be fair, they did have a slight beat here for Q2 earnings, 17 cents per share versus 14 cents per share expected. In terms of guidance, okay, I do actually have some guidance. They're seeing Q3 revenue between 570 and 590 million. Fiscal 2025 revenue between 2.3 and 2.4 billion dollars. I'm not seeing how those guidance aspects for HIMS compare to estimates, though.
Yeah, remember, this is a stock that at these exact price levels rolled over on the Novo News, more or less right around the 65 level and gap down. So sellers winning on the bad report as well, but not looking good for HIMS. If you're looking for the bull run today on earnings, it's really only in one place. It's only Palantir that's going up. Pretty much everything we looked at has gone to the downside here. I haven't looked at Mercado Libre, but no one trades it. No one cares about them. I'm sure it's a fantastic company. But at the end of the day, if you don't split, no one cares. And so Palantir, not really, it's not 12%. But the 12% I think is asking a lot, especially at all-time highs. But it's certainly the only thing that's looking relatively strong here. You just had the guidance on PLTR, but they're not the only thing going higher. A lot of times when we see one of the AI plays go upside, notably, NVIDIA goes higher as well. What do they have to do with each other? Nothing. Precisely, but the sentiment is the sentiment. And if you're saying AI is winning, then NVIDIA tends to move higher as well. So through 180s, NVIDIA on sympathy, and Palantir holding out but not breaking those highs yet.
It is funny because Navitas and NVIDIA actually have a connection, but that's definitely not going to move NVIDIA.
No,
they do have a partnership for next-gen AI data centers. There was another earnings play that was actually higher here, Neil, and it was Zoom Info Technologies. The ticker for that one, I do not remember off the top of my head, but either way, GTM is apparently the ticker for this one. This is I believe a bit of a small, yes, $10. Q2 earnings, adjusted earnings of 25 cents per share, beating estimates of 23 cents. Sales, 306.7 mil versus 296.4 mil. That would be a double beat. Q3 guidance, it looks like above estimates across the board. They also raised their fiscal 2025 guidance, also beating estimates across the board. Now, Palantir also did raise some elements of guidance. I already read you guys their Q3 guidance. They raised their fiscal 2025 sales guidance. So original range was 3.89 bill to 3.902 bill. They raised that to 4.142 bill to 4.15 bill versus estimates of 3.9. So nice look here for Palantir. They didn't miss on anything. If there's anything interesting I see from either Palantir or HIMS as I continue to read through the reports, while we have our special guest, Michael Noss, on today, I will drop that in the chat. Also, if there's any earnings that we missed that you guys want me to look at, drop those in the chat when I have a second. I can't promise I'll be like speedy, but when I have a second, I will certainly type those in for you.
Oh, Speed and Adara? Oh, come on. We know you're lightning quick with an Adara. Don't be humble. We'll get all of that news, and if anything pops off, we'll get to it for sure. But let's be real. If you're looking for a bullish move to the upside, which most people are, I'm sure there's some shorts out there. In some of these earnings plays. Good luck to you. Most of them would have worked out with the exception of Palantir. But I know a certain person who gets excited whenever the market's moving, and earnings season is always fun for us. And this person happens to like technicals. So I want to see his take on some of the moves we've seen. It's the NOS boss. Let's bring him in for some trader talk. Welcome back. Ooh, I'm only now seeing the t-shirt there and all of it. This morning I couldn't really read the whole thing. By the smile.
That's right.
First of all, I hope your day was fantastic. Welcome in. Maybe explain what that means, although it's obvious to me, maybe not obvious to everybody.
Buying smiley faces, right? We talk about it all the time. It's funny. I got this one from JC. I know I dropped some shirts off there as well. He's all kinds of cool trading shirts that no one who's not a trader will understand. Like one just says Fibonacci is my homeboy in big letters, and it's got Fibonacci with the earmuffs on, like he's doing some lo-fi hip hop or something. It's hilarious.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Only traders get things like that. So we had a pretty interesting start to the week. No questions asked. Like last week, a lot of things, it was insane last week because we went from, no, we're not cutting rates potentially all year to 90% chance that we're going to get a rate cut. And the market, like it's just how quickly things will flip. And you saw a lot of strength ultimately bringing the market into some new highs, but it wasn't everywhere because a couple of Mag 7 names did languish. But there wasn't enough weakness in the Apples and the Amazons of the world to prevent us from getting into highs. And looks like buy the dip is continuing to win here over and over again. People might not like it, but we're going higher.
Well, and I talked about this morning, and I think the reason why is pretty kind of obvious here if you end up seeing this data. So again, I know this chart isn't very good. I have to do make my own chart, I think, of this to make it a little prettier. But again, we're just looking at the green line here, and this is the net positioning of large speculators out there, and they're short, and they've been shorting the whole way up. And then we had, a 3% pullback last week, and they didn't cover any. So they're getting super greedy on these shorts. And the way I've been thinking about this is that until this normalizes, there's this underlying bid, this relentless bid that just has to exist in the market. Is these guys are short and very, very wrong and have been wrong for a long time. So any sort of a pullback, they should be lightening up on those shorts. Any sort of a push higher, there may be things like forced liquidation. So if you can kind of spot where the other side is in pain, sometimes it can tell you all you need to know about the trend. Well,
it's to that point, it felt like we saw something like, I don't know if you saw this chart, but it felt like we were seeing something like that with a firm today. No specific news, got a decent short float, and it was just recently, it's kind of a popular stock to get shorted. It's just one of those, it falls into that group, but it broke a technical level and then just literally trended up like there was a program buy the entirety of the day. And like all I could come up with, somebody was like, I need to get it. I either need to get shares. I'm like, would you be buying in front of earnings at the highs, or maybe they were just trying to unwind before earnings, so like it's going up, and we don't want to get to the all-time or the 52-week high and have to deal with this before their earnings. So to that point, I think finding some of these trends as a day trader seems to work as well. Do you, just out of curiosity, when you see that over the top, they're getting greedy, shorts are increasing, do you have any scans on individual names that maybe it would be like some kind of a technical break on X amount of volume and X of a shortfall? I'm just making something up, where you could be like, this looks like it's getting squoze, for lack of a better term. Do you have anything that would give you an edge there in finding them outside of just regular volume indicators?
Yeah, I actually like to, and it's you can do it here on FinViz, but I like to chart the short float, and I always like to use this kind of open as an example.
Okay.
I gotta pay these guys so the ads go away, but not just because the short float was high, which it was at 25%. That's pretty high. But this orange line down here, this is the actual short float, and you can see it increasing dramatically between like $1 and 50 cents. So they were really hammering this thing short as it was hanging out at lows under $1. I don't know what they were thinking. That just seems like pure greed to me. And so, again, not only that they're trapped and that they need to do shorts, but where they're trapped. And the example I give to this too is AMC. AMC doesn't have a large short float anymore, but if it did, they're probably short from all the way from $60. So if AMC ripped to $10, they don't care. They don't need to cover. They're not going to get that short squeeze that they want. They would have to get up to $50, $60 a share before the short started to get nervous. With Open, they just had to get it over $1. And did no one learn from Carvana, where any amount of short squeeze can cause this type of reaction? And I actually really like this Open chart for a potential secondary move, because they're able to hold it. So it didn't come down very much. I think it's this weekend that we get new short float data. I'll have to check on that. But if they still haven't covered, and we know they're existing around somewhere between $1 and 50 cents, you're talking a large percentage, a 100 to 300% loss in some of these guys' accounts. So it's not just the short float, it's trying to pin where they're short, and when that price gets surpassed dramatically, then they got to cover. Their broker's going to come knocking.
Great insights, Michael. And for everyone watching that remembers the last time we had Michael on, and I said every single time that Michael comes on, I try to give him a question that he should not be prepared for because it was not discussed. And he didn't talk about it this morning specifically. And of course, he does have an indicator that he uses for those types of squeezes. That's a great look on Open. I promise you, we traded it last week. Sean was trading it today. I promise you, every day this week that it holds above $2, I think that's going to be one for the day traders out there to keep an eye on, because we know the potential of that one could be absolutely explosive. So that's one small, very, very small cap name. What about overall the small caps in general? Because I think you were talking about this on Friday. Well, I mean, look, we were just on. You were on Friday morning, and you were just on last week. But now the litmus has really changed with that 90% chance for a rate cut, and the IWM making a power move in here today. Very, very nice bounce. Give me your thoughts on maybe what you see here and what opportunities are there for us. As the market was great today, but the Russell really stood out.
Yeah, 2.25% on the Russell. That's pretty wild. So for those who don't know, and I'm sure if you guys watch, Neil talks about this all the time, the reason that we're interested in rates and small caps, it's because that's the reason for the last 5 years small caps have kind of gone nowhere, is that Apple doesn't care if rates are 2% or if rates are 6%. They can adapt their business, and they have a whole bunch of cash that they'll just make more money as rates go higher. But your small caps, your biotechs, which is a big component, your kind of ma and pa shop organizations, they're the ones that get hurt as rates go higher. Biotechs in particular because you're trying to build something that you're not allowed to sell yet until the FDA gives you approval. So you have to live off debt and you have to live off borrowed money until you get this product passed or until you get bought out or whatever happens. So the higher interest rates, the harder it is for you to get to that end goal of FDA approval. So the fact that we had this massive rip in IWM and it closed the gap, that makes me think that I want to take a look at, and I was doing some scanning before I came on here. IBB and XBI are both very interesting to me when I dived into the biotech sectors. So this blue line right here, this is the anchored VWAP from, let's call it the prior cycle high, right up here. And then this blue line ahead is the anchored VWAP from all-time highs. And I believe a couple weeks ago I was on here showing that quite often when you have a pretty dramatic pullback and then you get that anchored VWAP from the all-time highs violated to the upside, you can get these more sustained trends. And most sectors have done it already. Biotechs have not yet. So I'm watching this, and it's like $91 on the biotech sector, but this base right here has been so nice and tight. It didn't really participate in that sell-off from Thursday and Friday, and really did well in kind of the bounce with the IWM. So I'm very interested to the biotech side of things. But yeah, I'm biased, and I've been hoping for so long for small caps to catch up, and they just haven't. So I hope that this is going to be the case, that we're going to get some sort of cut, and that's going to help out biotechs. And the reason for that is that I like to trade more than just large cap tech. I think the more stocks that are moving, the more opportunity there is for people like us that don't really care what we're trading. We just want to trade the setups and the trends. So I'm hoping, but I've been disappointed many times with the IWM in the past.
Well, there's no doubt about that. But I got to pivot to like the mover that almost everyone's going to be talking about tonight. If they're not talking about HIMS to the downside, they're talking about Palantir to the upside. And we've had this discussion before. When you have like you can't really call Palantir a squeeze name, but the trend, if you look at the daily chart, it looks every much like that type of a stock. And again, tonight, they upped their guidance, they beat on earnings, so there's just nothing for anybody to short this thing to sink their teeth into. What would you do technically for a stock like this? As a day trader, you've got some options open to you tomorrow morning because like ultimately, like you're just looking for short. You can take it for an hour, you can take it for a couple of hours. Like there's lots of opportunities that way that'll set up. But for a swing trader, what could be like if you're not already in Palantir? The fundamental people can't handle the valuation. Yeah. And then technically it's a blue sky setup because you're through all-time highs. What can you pull off here as a swing trader, or is this if it doesn't dip, you're stuck?
If it doesn't dip, I definitely think you're stuck. You would need a retest of this, I think, 161 area to have some zone to play off of. But I say this all the time where the thing that I'm always thinking of and reminding myself on every time I take a trade is that I'm going to be right about half the time. And so I have to think risk and reward. That's just where I have to focus my attention. And where do you put your risk on something like this? You know, do you use this this was kind of the last major swing low on this at 130. You're looking to risk 30 points, so you have to be able to make 60 points to make it worth your while, and that seems like a little bit of a tall order. So to me, other than like maybe looking at other companies that could be kind of sympathy plays for Palantirs that have better setup or something like that, I just look at this one as you missed it. You know, there's plenty of fish in the sea, and you get to work finding the next one.
Okay, well, speaking of dips, this is purposefully done in this order, was because there's a squeeze name that just did not, HIMS has had bad news from Novo, and that caused it to, probably the only reason why it didn't break out past the mid-60s was the bad Novo news. Now you get back to there, you fill that gap and come right back to the highs. They report tonight, and you do another pullback when it's just trying to break away from the 65 area, and we get another dip in HIMS. I want to get your opinion on this, but I'm of the opinion that if it actually holds here and then takes out the high after all this bad news, this could be an epic squeeze. Just because like the shorts have had fundamental reasons that they think are going to work for them. So if we blow out the 70 top, How are you not taking this breakout? As a day trader, again, it's much easier to just simply say, I'm going to take a 70 break on a day trade. If it loses 69, I get out. That's an easy trade to make as a day trader. As a swing trader, what's your approach here? Because it worked if you found the long after the last bad news on this stock.
Yeah. Yeah, buying breakouts like that, what I like to just do is weekly closes. So I agree, right? If we go back to this chart right here, so this is a weekly chart of HIMS, just showing, like we were talking about, where they're short, not just that it's a 34% short float, but most of it has happened. If you go back to when we were in the 20s or so, right, it wasn't that high. And then it really started to get high somewhere in this range. And this is a wide range, so it gets really harder to track it down. But I want to say 40s or 50s are probably going to be roughly their average price. So I'm buying this breakout. And, Charles Dow taught us 100 years ago, 200 years ago now, that the closing price is the most important. So I like weekly candles for a lot of my swings and weekly closing prices. So a trade like this may look to me like something like, okay, if we can get up in the $69 or $70 area and we can break that, I'm going to get involved. And then I'm going to wait for a weekly close, like maybe back below 65, just to some indication that there was that failure of a breakout. And you can see every time we've got up in that zone, that weekly close, yeah, it would hurt, but you missed a lot of the pain, kind of both sides.
Right.
So that's probably what I would do. And just knowing that, if I'm trading HIMS, I'm trading something that's insane. However, the fact that that pullback of the Novo Nordisk news wasn't that bad on a percentage basis, again, it sucked. But if you look at it in the grand scheme of the weekly chart here, it only pulled back a little bit of this range. To me, I'm with you. If we can get back through there, if this bad earnings report gets shrugged off, I'm going to be a buyer, and that's just the only way I think I'm going to be able to sit through the noise of this, is just use a weekly closing candle, and just then I only even need to look at it once a week. And for something this wild, and you're going to obviously be trading it small because of it, something this wild, I think that's what you have to do, is just wait until the closing candle and try to not get swept up in the crazy noise that this thing does intraday.
Hi, Michael. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We actually have a question in our chat from Nick W. asking about your thoughts on J&J. Do you think that this is a potential breakout to kind of move from one biotech type name to another?
This chart is just a nightmare to me, to be honest. I have this thing where I hate dead money as much more than losing money. And dead money just meaning I'm in this thing and it's not doing anything for a long period of time. If you look at J&J, we're really just stuck inside this massive range. And I just absolutely hate that, because the way I look at it as someone who trades systems, I have a rough estimate and a back test of what my system should generate me each year. And if my money is sitting just doing nothing, then I'm looking at it as losing money, not just because of inflation and all that kind of stuff, but losing money because I could be applying it to one of these other systems that's ended up doing well. So if you're going to take a trade like this, I think you really need a time stop. So it just means you need some ability to say, okay, I'm buying J&J here, and I get what the viewers watching is this particular breakout that's happening here. It just has so many of these levels overhead at 175 and 180 and 185. I think you put a pretty tight time limit on this if you're going to take a look at it and say, I want this breakout to happen. I want it to happen in the next number of weeks. We're on a weekly chart here. So, in 2 or 3 weeks, if we're back below 170, it's time to go. And that's the only way I can deal with stocks that are in such a range like that, because, again, a nightmare for me is to be holding a name with no time stop exit plan, because then I'm always worried that the day I'm going to sell, there's going to be some great news that's going to come out that's going to spike it. So that's when I don't like the look of the chart, to be honest, but if I was going to trade it, yeah, some sort of time stop is going to keep me from just getting completely messed up in this name that really hasn't gone anywhere in like 3.5 years.
And that's why we've just been talking about HIMS. For all of you viewers out there, we can look at stable names that are, hey, J&J is not going to get you crushed. But,
right,
there's a reason why we're going to be talking a lot about Palantir and HIMS tomorrow and the rest of the week. And we'll be talking about AMD later on in the week. And J&J, again, the dead money is the right word for it because of the opportunity cost that you could be in a better trade.
And I really want to just hammer in on that point you put. The reason that we're talking about HIMS and Palantir and all that is not really even so much. So say you're a more conservative trader and these names scare you. The way I look at it is that you can trade these names way smaller and have more capital to place more trades on more uncorrelated assets or uncorrelated systems than putting it into something that is safer. So you can always adjust your risk. So if you look at something like him and say, no way, that thing's moving, $10 a day, that's fine. You just trade it 1/10 of a stock that trades $1 a day. So that now you've freed up 90% of the potential buying power you have to apply to other names. So I never try to look at, this is a safe name, this is a non-safe name. I look at something like Johnson & Johnson saying, I'm going to have to apply a whole bunch of buying power to make any money worth my while, where I'm going to be more interested in HIMS because I can just put a couple $1,000s in there and it could double or triple. Whereas with HIMS, I may need to put tens of thousands of dollars to make that same. So I really liked what you said there. I just wanted to hit on that volatility doesn't mean more risk. It just means smaller size, right? Same risk.
Yeah, absolutely perfect, and I can't end it on better words than that. So thank you so much for coming through. A wealth of knowledge as always, Michael. And we covered a lot today. I try to throw a few curveballs at you, and eventually I'm going to land a strike, and you're going to swing and miss. But it hasn't happened yet. I'm going to get you eventually. Thank you so much for coming on, Michael. We look forward to talking to you at the end of the week.
I'll talk to you then. Have a good one.
All right, take care.
Thank you, Michael.
Another great addition, Trader Talk there with Michael Nasa. He's always fun to have around, and a wealth of knowledge, like I always say. But in terms of the knowledge on the earnings, it's pretty simple. If you were Palantir, you beaten her up. If you're anybody else that reported tonight, you are to the downside. I mean, wow, that was easy. I didn't think it would be so simple.
Staples. That was easy.
We need one of those buttons. Why don't we have a "that was easy" button? That's low-hanging fruit, Fabian. That is low-hanging fruit. We should have a "that was easy" button. Another thing that I found amusing in the new War of the Worlds movie, which I guess only nerds would like to take on it. Unfortunately, the budget wasn't that big for that film, but I thought it was kind of fun. But it was a very low-budget movie. Shout out to Ice Cube. But you know what we do?
Ice Cube was in it?
Yeah, Ice Cube.
How was he in it? How is he? I like him as an actor.
So without spoiling too much of it, when I say it was a low-budget film, like, it was along the lines of most of it just takes place like him looking into like his computer screen. Like, he works at like a thing, like kind of like the NSA, and he's online.
I'm very curious now about this.
Like, it's one of those types. Like, there was a movie with the guy from Harold and Kumar, very similar, where he's looking for his daughter, and it takes place him searching the computer.
John Cho or Cal Penn?
The other guy, Harold, not the I forget the actor. John Cho. It's a very similar film, but it had that exact feel to it. It's really cool to watch. If you're a nerd, you'll like it. But again, like, if you're a bull, then you only like Palantir. HIMS to the downside. I think we'll see some opportunities there tomorrow, but not the best in terms of numbers. That being said, so let's get into some roll call, everybody. You know the drill. Right about now, I want everyone to give a big shout out. Give a big shout out to Michael for coming on in through. Give a big shout out to Fabian. Give a big shout out to Andre, to Team Ramin, to Adara, to Sean, to Brendo, to the Midday Boys, to Joey Options with the dreads, and Sharif with the t-shirt today with Mo Salah. Give a shout out to everybody. Give a pat on the back to yourselves as well, but make sure you hit that like and subscribe before you do it. Get in the chat and shout everybody out so we can get a little roll call back with Adara in rapid fashion.
Let's get going here. Thank you to Neil, Sean, Sharif, Joe. Shout out to Obi, who was on for Sean last week. We have Fabian, Ramin, Andre, Brendan, of course, and everyone in this chat. We have Io Lewis, the Trendline Tycoon, Tracer Austin, Damian Tarza, Chris Howden, J-Dog, Sharva Dog, Other Zinc, Tyler Smith, Chris Howden, Adrian Hernandez, Big Joel, Jai Singh, Roger Noonan, RN Artist Day Trader, Christmas 123, Applemani, Heartbroken Biker, Tony, Broadcast MTV, Green Day Dean, 19 Regal 83, Viz Bot, West, y'all, Green Day Dean, again, your Schwans, Levi, Michelle, Adam DeLuce, Vertigo, 534, Christopher Busey, RJ Trades, Options, and Deep will end there. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you all tomorrow. And it's Palantir, day one. And it's Hims and Hers, day day one. And after the bell, we'll get AMD, SMCI, RIVN, Lucid. If there is a name, there's a chance that either it or something in its sector is reporting tomorrow night, so it should be massive.
Yeah, Tuesday. Last week it was Wednesday, Thursday, but tomorrow earnings are absolute hot fire, and we're here bringing all of it live. We're Trader TV Live. We'll see you bright and early. This has been your market recap by Beta Pro X. We'll see you in the morning, everybody. Bye, guys. I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.